framed the ball to keep the ball, but they've been sloppy and they've given it away.
It's a nice move from them now, though. Garcia, there's three in the middle. It's a chance for a cut back. It's an own goal from Matt Targett in trying to cut out the cross. Targett has turned the ball past Nick Pope and into his own net. And it was the move down the left-hand side involving Garcia, the left back, and then Alvaro Garcia, the wide player, ahead of him. He rolled it into the centre, and there were players coming in expecting a tap in, but Targett has scored an own goal. So it's Newcastle United 2, Rayo Vallecano 1, 75 minutes.
It's not one he could have left. You know, he had to play it. Had to try and do something with it. Pope's already committed and just knocks it into an empty net.
So it's Newcastle United 2, Rayo Vallecano 1, 75 minutes.
It's not one he could have left.
Howdy doody.
Pope's already committed and just knocks it into an empty net.
So it's Newcastle United 2, Rayo Vallecano.
Pope's already committed and just knocks it into an empty net.
Howdy doody.
Pope's already committed and just knocks it into an empty net. Pope's already committed and just knocks it into an empty net.
Kid and sleeping? Howdy doody. Don't disturb him, love. Yeah. la 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 la. La 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 la.
And Newcastle have a corner.
Yeah. Good play by the young boys. Not afraid to get involved. Little give. Little pull back defended well. Willock comes across to this near side to whip the corner kick in.
So Maxima's on the corner of the penalty area. Lascelles is in the 6-yard box. It's an outswinging, right-footed delivery.
It's poor.
And Dmitrievski has to stretch a little, but makes a fairly comfortable catch. Drops the ball at the feet of Florian Lejeune, who played back to the goalkeeper, just away from Stevenson in the box. And he's won it back for Newcastle, but illegally so. A groan from the crowd as United had the ball in the final third. Whistle's gone. And Radamel Falcao, the Colombian, 36. He joined Rayo last year. Had such an impressive career at the top level in Europe. Murphy with a block on a cross from Jose Angel Pozzo. An own goal from Matt. Throw into the corner. Ball is out again. And, Rayo get the match going once more. Played inside to Pathé Cis. An own goal from Matt. Taken off at half-time in the England-Senegal match. World Cup earlier this month. Cis again.
Well, we're getting ready for the Hull City versus Sunderland game live in the Championship.
Confused the two names. Jacob Murphy been tripped. Free kick in the right full-back position. Few supporters are.
Well, we're getting ready for the Hull City versus Sunderland game live in the Championship.
3.5 minutes of normal time to go. It's 2-1 to Newcastle. BBC Radio Newcastle, NUFC TV, and Nick Pope with the free kick. It's well out of his area, out to the side on the right.
Well, we're getting ready for the Hull City versus Sunderland game live in the Championship.
Miley jumps for it with Lejeune, the defender. Wins that aerial contest. Gets Cis back to the goalkeeper. Inside, it's played there by Consagna. And Lejeune bringing it up to the halfway line. Fran Garcia. Back inside, dispossessed, and Newcastle. A free kick. It was Stevenson and Miley who combined to win the ball back, and Stevenson was tripped on the right. And Turner Cook's going to take it. Murphy up to Stevenson. Couldn't hold it. Big defender Lejeune at his back. Inside, dispossessed, and Newcastle. And he's not the biggest, Dylan Stevenson. Lejeune used his strength to win that one, and this is Pathé Cis gets away from a couple of black and white shirts, and now they've got space on the right side of central midfield, and it's worked out to Palisson. Got an overlapping run on the outside. He's got away from Willock. 25 yards out, he's desperate to shoot, couldn't find space. Falcao now, Fran Garcia, 4 in the middle. Here's the cross. Falcao gets up, and it skims off his head and goes away to the left.
Yeah, those
Newcastle
old legs wouldn't get off the ground, would they?
The former Monaco, Porto, Atletico Madrid player. Getting up to head, but not head on target. Now we're going to see Bebe. He wants to Manchester United. Unless they make another late change. This is Alan San Maxima, who
going to grow into a big boy.
This is Sam-Axemer on halfway. Lovely take on the turn. Away from Cease. And Stevenson just inside the area, left side.
Good evening, everybody.
Still on the attack, Newcastle. In the final minute of the 90, Willock. Stevenson on the outside. Back to Sam-Axemer, edge of the area. Away from Lejeune. And then stopped by a wall of red shirts. 2-1 to Newcastle. Here's the numbers board.
Good evening, everybody.
As the fourth official. This is Fran Garcia with a cross from the left. Lascelles has cleared it. Turner Cook brings it down and plays it back to Pope. Botman closed down by Falcao. Longstaff in the D. It's a ball up to halfway. Lejeune.
Good evening, everybody.
Gives it to his goalkeeper. Stevenson closing down. Chipped away down the far side. Target has won it. Here go Newcastle. Can they get a third? It's Alan Sam-Axemer approaching the penalty area. Step overs. Cuts inside. Goes back outside. Lovely turn. Challenge comes in.
What we're listening to at the minute is just the remainders of the Newcastle game. It's on SAFC audio, and we're just about 2 minutes left of that match. They're playing a friendly game. They're counting 2-1 up, and then we'll be going live to Hull. I'm sure it'll be Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett. That'll be giving us all the up-to-date commentary as it happens. What we're listening to at the minute is just the remainders of the Newcastle game. It's on SAFC audio, and we're just so we're all still hungover from England's exit of the World Cup. We're feeling a lot better now. Me, I'm not too bothered about the final tomorrow. I'll watch it, but I wouldn't be chuffed a bits if France won it. I wouldn't be chuffed a bits if Argentina won it. I couldn't give a shite, to be honest with you, who won it. I'm really not arsed at all.
He's being treated. They're looking at his lower right leg. His left leg is...
No, don't read that into that.
I was just going to say, is that strapping?
He's got bandages all over him.
Yeah.
That's just tubey grip on his calves. Puts that on all the time.
But it is the right leg, isn't it? You can't see if it's calf, ankle or foot because Florian Lejeune is standing over him and right in the way of the cameraman as well. But Pathé Ciss is okay from Rayo Vallecano. He's back on 2 feet. Sam-Axemer is up. Lejeune gives him a pat on the back. And he's dragging that right leg, but it looks like he might be okay. Referee has the ball under his arm in just below the penalty area. There are a lot of
So we've got the team news here. Patterson in goal, Gooch in 09, and Bath, and then Alessi, and then Evans, then Neil, then Ahmad, then Embleton, Clark, Sims, and on the bench we have Bass, Sirkin, Roberts, Barr, Ballard, Stewart, and Benetti. I think Stewart will get a run out today, but we're just going to break him in gently. We're just going to see what social media seems about the team news here and stuff. And good to see Nessie back on the team sheet. Wouldn't have Clark anywhere near the first 11 after that shambles against West Brom. Bound to score at least one now today. I don't know. I think he's alright, Clark. Everybody has their off day. Some of the stick Gooch gets is a joke. He's been really good all season. Team should be good enough. Glad our 2 signings are on the strongest bench I've seen for a few years.
The match has been brought to an end by the referee, Tom Bramall, and Newcastle have won by 2 goals to 1. They've beaten the team 8th in La Liga, just 2 points off the Champions League places in Spain. Rayo Vallecano and goals from Sean Longstaff.
Go back to the computer if you want.
In the first half, and
Hey.
Chris Wood in the second from the penalty spot.
You tired?
Joe Willock was fouled. An own goal halved the deficit. Matt Targett dug
Been
crossed into his own net. But Ando, it wasn't a particularly exciting friendly. What do you think Eddie Howe will have got out of this?
Well, a lot of players got 90 minutes out of it. Got more match fitness, game time. Will stand them in good stead. Not a great deal of pace to the game. It was, I suppose, the way to look at it, Razor, is typical friendly. You know, not many tackles flying around. A lot of space, a lot of room to go and play in. The only thing you can really take out of it is the fact that players got game time and got another 90 minutes under their belt, and they've won again. And look, winning's it's a good habit, you know, it's a nice habit to get into, and they take that win into Tuesday night against Bournemouth in the Cup.
And they will hope, Newcastle, that there are no injuries or no serious problems with Trippier and Saint-Maximin needing treatment at stages during the second half. We'll find that out from
Hello Dale Boyd, how you doing, mate? More fun today, how you keeping? Yeah, doing alright. Need a bit of a pick-me-up, don't we, from that double whammy, England going out and then Sunderland losing. But I want to see Sunderland have a good performance today and get us 3 valuable points, because I think the fans need it after that really terrible show we had. You been up to much, Dale?
Walk around St James's Park and thank their fans. It had been 5 weeks since they had been able to see them at St James's. They'll be back on Tuesday for the second time in 4 days, and that match, as every other one will be live on BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV. Bournemouth in the League Cup at 7:45. Next on BBC Radio Newcastle, commentary on Sunderland's match away to Hull in the Championship. Final score in this friendly here at St James's Park: Newcastle United 2.
So then, here we go. Can the lads do it today?
Times are tough at the moment.
I'm struggling massively, but that hasn't stopped you from making a difference. People can come along.
I'll just be turning the adverts down, so I don't want to get any copyright strikes and stuff. Must be some friendlies going on about. We need to win just the Christmas business. Yeah. Dare I say we're confident of the win today? Who knows?
Into the penalty pulls. Get it!
Can you hear the commentary of the game okay, Dale? And can you hear me alright?
Sunderland are back in the Championship. They're back to the promised land.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Good afternoon from Kingston upon Hull, from the MKM Stadium, as it's now known, in its 20th year, celebrating its 20th
So say good afternoon to Nick
season.
Barnes.
Built or opened in October 2002.
Hello to the 5 that's
Good
tuning in
afternoon
and the 6 that's tuning
Gary
in.
Bennett's
Good afternoon,
ME.
everyone.
If I was wearing my cap, I would be doffing it now. How are you, sir?
I'm cold.
Hello, Gary Bennett.
Oh dear. This is not a good start.
Well, we just need warming up with the football, don't we, really?
Indeed, and
Yep.
to that end, the team that hopefully will do just that is Patterson making
More
his
crap
50th
on the management for
appearance
transfers.
for
Yes, okay, DJ,
Sunderland
great.
this afternoon in goal. Gooch, O'Nien, Bart and Elise, Neil, Evans, Ahmad, Embleton, Clark and Sims. So no Stewart to start the game, but Stewart is on the bench. The bench is Bass, Ballard, Stewart, Sirkin, Roberts, Barr and Bennett. So a glimmer of good news on that front. The two players, we thought Ballard might be further away, but he's on the bench this afternoon. Now, we thought that Stewart, if fit, would probably start, partly because the weather's so cold, you probably want them moving rather than sitting in the cold on the bench.
Back in a second.
I guess it's not worth the risk. He's sticking with his preferred team, preferred lineup, not making many changes. Their record away from home is good. Hull, well, it's 4 games on the bounce they've lost here at home, to Birmingham, to Blackburn, Middlesbrough and Reading. So they need a turnaround under new head coach Liam Rosenior, and they've certainly seen that to some extent. He's had one win since he took over. He's had 4 games, 1 defeat, and that was that defeat here to Reading. But he's tightened things up. They had a 0-0 draw at Millwall, and last time out a 0-0 draw at Watford. So significantly tighter. How do you read today's game?
How do I read today's game? Listen, anytime Sunderland rolls in to the city or town, it always raises the game of the opponents. You know, it's going to be a very, very good atmosphere here. I think we've got, what, 2,500, 3,000 supporters travelling?
2,500, I think it was, yeah.
So straight away, you know, it's going to be an atmosphere which obviously this stadium's not used to, really. You know, so it's going to be hard. Yes, Hull will raise the game. You know, you look at the game last week against on Monday, against West Brom. I thought the first 45 minutes we did well, but also you got to look at West Brom. You know, they were a little bit, shall we, slow, sloppy, but obviously the problem which I thought we had was that we didn't deal, especially on the right-hand side, with the crosses coming to the box. We allowed them to do it time and time again, and if you do
certainly
that,
did there.
Sooner or later, you know, they're going to get rewards, which they did do.
We'll hear from Dan Neil. I spoke to him following the game against West Brom shortly.
I think the West Brom match was a carbon copy of Burnley. I just thought
Hull City make a couple of changes. Ingram's in goal, Matt Ingram. It may
underestimated them. I thought that because we looked at them and thought like the third off bottom should beat these.
Who normally plays right back, line back, or central midfield.
They're a big side, West Brom, and expect them to be in the top 5, top 6 by the end of the season, guaranteed. And I just don't think our young squad, small squad, had enough for West Brom. They just got relegated from the Premier League, and sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. But they just had too much for us, especially with our injuries still.
8 goals this summer, 3-match suspension, but you can see why he's valuable by head and shoulders above everybody else in terms of scoring goals.
Yeah, so he's going to be a threat, but again, it's how we go about it. And again, a big question mark is going to be about, you know, we talk about Ross Stewart getting him back. Now, if he's on the bench, if he's fit for the bench, do you think he should have started? That's the question mark. And, you know, you're just thinking, really, coming off the bench, is it... well, I don't know how you read into it.
I'm not sure. I said before when I spoke to Colin at half-time in the Newcastle match, you can see it both ways in one sense. You know, he's 3 months out, you want to ease him in, or do you give him an hour?
They still want Stewart to just sign that contract, don't we? I mean, it's...
Take him off, see what
is he staying or is he not going? What's happening?
I think Tony Mowbray is seemingly cautious, and he says that's in consultation with the physios and the medical staff. You know, he didn't take any chances last weekend. No risk whatsoever.
I mean, I can understand what Nick Barnes is saying. We don't want to risk, you know, getting him injured again. You know what I mean? And let's just see what he can do.
You ease him in, because if you bring him on as a sub, you know, is he going to be eased into the game, or is he going to go at it full for 100%?
I mean, it'd be shit bringing Stewart in for 3 or 4 nil down.
If we are chasing the game, then you're most probably going to throw him on. So it's a difficult one. I understand where obviously Tony Mowbray's come, especially when he's been out for that long a period, that you don't want to really rush him back and then he picks up an injury straight away. But again, that's up to the player. You know, I think the player would play a part in that, in regards of how do you feel? You know, do you feel confident enough to start, or would you feel better coming off the bench and playing yourself into the game? So it's an interesting, but it's good to see that Ballard's back as well. That gives us a little bit more
Ballard looked superb, didn't he? He was just so unlucky that he got injured in the back, literally the first ball he kicked.
But, you know, got in the other side of it as well. I think it's a game which we need to win.
I do agree with you, Gary.
Now, Ballard is the right, isn't he? Because in the past it would have been Bailey Wright on the bench there, and if you're winning the game, comes on the last 15-20 minutes to shore things up. Dan Ballard might well be in that position this afternoon if Sunderland are winning. They've got a good opportunity, a great opportunity. These 3 away games over Christmas, New Year, all against teams that ostensibly are struggling, their positions in the league table. But as we've seen with West Bromwich Albion and a couple of other teams this season, you just cannot take the position in the table as a marker of how good these teams are.
No, you can't.
You look at Hull City, yes, you might say that they're in a false position. You know, they've got quality. You know, we've got to be on our game. You know, we've got to be at it for the full 90 minutes, not 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good point. Dale might not be the same after an injury.
This afternoon.
Of course,
Last night on
it depends what these
Total
injuries
Sports
are, but
on
most
BBC
important of all,
Radio Newcastle, we
it depends
had
what
Martin
mental
O'Neill
state
on the
of
show,
mind
yes, which was an interesting listen. A good
Stuart
listen
is
for half
in.
an hour.
If
It
his
was
head's not in the
refreshing.
club, he doesn't want to be here. It's a
Really
waste of time
refreshing,
putting him
and
anywhere near
Credit to Martin O'Neill.
the
You know,
Sunderland
he
shirt.
came up and I think he was a little bit more open about how things were at Sunderland at the time when he was manager.
Yeah, things didn't go particularly well for him towards the end. But anyway, his book is a very good read.
But I
as
have to
well.
admit, I am
If you
pleased
want
with how
to
Sunderland have
listen to
been
what
this
Martin
season.
O'Neill had to
Someone
say,
says we'll be like middle
it's
table-ish
available
by
on
this end of the
BBC
season.
Sounds.
This time of the season,
Just
I would
search
bite
for
their hands
BBC
off.
Radio Newcastle.
they have
Total
done well.
Sport. Last night's programme, he was on between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, and it's well worth a listen back to what Martin O'Neill had to say about his time at Sunderland and other things as well. Steve Howie threw in a couple of curveballs about criminology and
It was just such
so
a
on.
shame
So,
it didn't
but
work
it
out
was
for
a
Martin
good listen.
O'Neill.
Always
I was at the
good
first
listen to
game
Martin O'Neill, a good
he
talker,
turned
good
up for when
storyteller,
we
Martin
played
O'Neill.
Blackburn and we were
So
1-0
coming
down
up,
and we ended up
we
winning
will be
2-1.
hearing from Tony
Seb Larson
Mowbray,
scored a
but I
free
mentioned
kick in the
Dan
last
Neil,
minutes of the
and
game. I
caught
was
up
there.
with Dan Neil following Sunderland's defeat to West Bromwich Albion.
But he's
on
Dan
Monday
Neil.
night.
Let's have a listen to Dan Neil.
Clear disappointment and frustration, and it struck me when Tony was talking about the game afterwards, something I think you said a few weeks back after a game, that sometimes the players have got to be more proactive on the pitch in terms of taking the game to the opposition, in the sense that tonight you tend to sort of sit back a bit and let West Brom push on to you. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think the first 10-15 minutes or so I thought were really on the front foot. Won the ball back high quite a few times, created a few chances, and I think the penalty come from that, winning the ball back high. And then once we scored, I felt like we sat in shape a little bit and almost let their centre backs have it, and it worked for the first half, and we closed down their main threats. But I think second half we kind of, to be honest, I think second half we started okay, but I think they had a few chances and we started getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And yeah, the gaffer's probably right. We need to be a bit more proactive on the pitch. And
they were just too strong, Dan Neil, at the end of the day. They were just underestimated them. They were just too strong for us.
It's tough for him to get his message across when you've got all the fans in the stadium.
We couldn't cope. We couldn't cope with the way they played the second half.
Like that, so yeah, he's probably right. We need to be a bit more proactive.
Yeah, we do just need to put the games to bed, scoring goals. Absolutely, Dale.
I mean, that was a very good reaction save from Alex Palmer.
Oh yeah, 100%. I still think we had chances. I think we should have had another penalty in the second half. I think it was pretty much.
And as Dale was saying, I mean, if Pritchard had scored,
that we got given.
Hello, Thane. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you. How's things? You all right, pal?
They created more chances and they played better in the second half, and we just need to take this one on the chin and brush it down and go again next week.
I mean, it's the same team that beat Millwall bar 1-3-0. You were just building a little bit.
What's your predictions today, Thane? We need to pick me up from the last game, don't we, at home against West Brom.
Of that, if you like, when you look at,
I just like to see Sunderland play for 90 minutes.
West Brom have got in their team tonight, like Wallace, like Swift, etc.
Yeah, but that's this club's going down, and you know, even though we are young, and sometimes there is going to be inconsistencies, we don't want that, because we want to be playing well every single game.
Yeah, good. Thanks very much, mate. Just don't forget, you can check Thane's channel out as well. He's
for a long time, but in terms of
he does some great analysis of the Sunderland games. Quite heated, passionate. He's a good lad, Thane, so go check his channel out.
I think it's been a good start to the season. We've won a lot of games. We've lost a lot of games that we can learn from, and we have learned from. We just need to
2-1 to the lads, hopefully. Yeah, we just want to win. We just want to win. We need it.
Like you said, West Brom have got a very experienced team. They've got a lot of quality players. When they made a few changes in the second half, you could see that the quality that they were bringing on off the bench, and I feel like it really made a difference. But like I said, we just need to brush this one down and go again next week.
Well, if someone had said to you, you're at the halfway mark next week against Hull, where you are on the table, you'd have taken that at the start of the season, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, well, 100%. Obviously, we want to be as high as we possibly can, but I think.
Fern is definitely on the red button, mate. 110%. It's on the red button.
But that would be around the playoffs at this point. I think it's not your hand off.
And I think the only reason you can get away by putting it on the red button is because of the World Cup is still effectively on. I mean, there's a third place playoff game today on.
And are you seeing Tony now as a coach more? You know, he's been here enough games now, maybe to imprint his own style and methods on.
So because of the World Cup,
the gaffer wants for it to almost
kiboshes the 3 o'clock rule, which I think one day they are going to.
I think he's used this in his press conference.
Abolish that anyway.
Soldiers, and he wants to have that good balance between the artist and the soldiers, and let the artists go and play free, and that's like your Pat Roberts, your Jack Clark, your Pritchards, but then you've got that balance of your Danny.
Hull was hard for us, 2-1 to us.
9 that are going to win the ball back.
They're a funny side, aren't they?
Give it to them types of players, and. I think you can see in spells that we're playing really, really good football. There's just a few things that.
But like I say, we just don't know which Sunderland's going to turn up.
But I think it's been.
I want to see us playing for 90 minutes. I kind of stand it where we just seem to be a 45-minute team.
As you said before, it's just finding that consistency.
So you got much planned tonight, Thane? Are you doing much, mate? No doubt you'll be doing a review.
Even when I've watched the games back, some of the football players
after the game.
Really good.
Thane says, "I wish we had Mal Brank today for another scream against these." Yeah, Mal Brank. He was quite. Yeah, it was his trademark, wasn't it? He was a quality player, Steve Mal Brank.
Once we go ahead, and we don't really kill teams off, unlike what we did against Millwall. But I feel like a lot of times,
we've had some cracking players in the past. When you think of it, really had some decent players.
Kind of put my foot on the throat.
It's just
and
the way
the game off and keep playing
how
the way we were
badly managed Sunderland have been.
So
why we fell in the doldrums of Division 1 and that. It's just all business side. It's been man bad.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
He was a great player.
Always good to hear
fantastic.
From Dan Neil talking to me after the game on Monday night, and I think by his own admission, he knows there are areas in the game that he can improve upon. I mean, Tony Mowbray speaks about
first
Dan
half
Neil.
or second half, it's like if Sunderland play really, really well first half, you think, oh, here we go, we'll do a shit show second half. Play shit in the first half, you know, would you to come out second half? It's like, it shouldn't be like that. I mean, surely these players are fit enough to play for 90 minutes.
One of the problems that they had against West Brom, and maybe is
I'm not saying
a few games this
go like a
season,
freight train for 90 minutes, but
they sink,
at least keep the standards up.
Yeah,
and that's, they need to be more proactive there.
It's amazing how many teams do that. You know, when you are leading for some unknown reason, you start defending on the edge of your 18-yard box.
We do it the most, though, Gary. We do it all the time.
More, shall we say, braver going forward, trying to, counter-attack maybe, keeping players further upfield, trying to have an outlet, and unfortunately we didn't have an outlet on Monday night.
Jermaine Defoe, I remember that one.
Experience as well, is it?
Yeah.
Having a player that has been through that, knows what to do. We'll hear Tony Mowbray talking about Alex Pritchard, ironically, because Pritchard's not involved today, but Pritchard, a player who can do that. He can manage the game on the pitch.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for, and I think sometimes that's what we're missing. We're missing that experience of managing games. I was watching the game last night, Birmingham City, and you've got the likes of Troy Deeney, who's
one thing that's on our side today is that we are a better away from home. However, the home form needs to improve massively. It's weird, that, isn't it, Thane? I mean, you think
from the touchline, but again, it's the players on the pitch who can have the most
having
on the game, and
that crowd behind you and the atmosphere, they'll be thumped up for it, doesn't it?
It's when you've got problems. So, Monday night was well highlighted where we had the problem. The problem was our left-hand side, which was West Brom's right-hand side. The lad Wallace, the amount of times he got the ball, yet he was allowed to cross the ball time and time again.
But you could just see it happening though with West Brom. You could see them slowly turning the sands of time. You could slowly twisting the game into West Brom's favour. You could see it happening.
Allow him to do that time and time again, and if you keep doing that, they're going to get the rewards, which they did do.
Yeah, that's very true, and I think also true that, and we'll hear Tony Mowbray talking about this quality, we've been playing teams like West Brom who've got players like Wallace and Swift who have got that extra little bit.
Yeah, but Nick, we played against teams who's got better quality than West Brom. Every team what you play against have got quality players. But if you give them time and space, they'll hurt you. You know, if you give time and space to Sunderland players, they'll hurt you. You know,
but this is what we did against West Brom, though. We give them far too much time.
With him that, yeah, they've got experience, but you've got to look at how we dealt
and
with
they just
problem.
deadly punished us.
I don't think we dealt with the problem on Monday night. We allowed it to happen. You know, you can't allow a striker to keep shooting because sooner or later he's going to score. You know, so you're looking at how do you stop the service? How do you deal with their strengths and weaknesses? That's what you're looking at. You've got to identify
the
that.
ball is out and a half, yeah. Away from home, we are fourth best team in the league, but our home relegation standards is. Roker Park was a fortress. Don't understand the stadium so quiet some games.
You know, you've got to deal with that. We didn't allow it.
I just think as well,
we didn't deal with that situation.
With the stadium light, it's just
you have problems like
Sunderland when they slow the tempo down and the fans can feel what's happening. The fans can feel that it's just going to be wave after wave after wave of attack against from the opposition, and it's not entertaining for the fans. It quietens them down. That's what Gary Bennett is saying here. It's exactly what he's saying.
They never allowed them to get out of the half. They got the ball into Wallace, and they were saying, okay, he's been delivering all first half, first 45 minutes.
Unless he was terrible for him, terrible.
People on the end of things. So he was saying, right, get people in the box. Let's flood the box, and hopefully we'll get something. And that's what happened. And when they got to 1-1, they didn't settle for 1-1 because they were telling themselves, hey, listen, we can go and win the game, which they did do.
That's warmed you up, hasn't it? Let's hear now from...
It's obvious that we're going to win the game. They could tell straight away.
Let's hear from the Sunderland head coach, Tony Mowbray.
Let's listen to Tony Mowbray.
Looking at the World Cup, and it's again become sort of a trend, if you like. The teams that have done well have got one impressive player, Messi, Modric, Mbappe. Do you think that's sort of transferable to the divisions and the Championship? And because you've mentioned how West Brom, a couple of minutes of quality, a couple of times this season. You've spoken about teams like Burnley.
Adam French, hello mate. Get Ben on shirt and put him in.
Is that,
I tell you what, he'd show some bloody passion now, hadn't he?
Well?
Yeah.
Well, I think very much so. I think the top players impact the game more than lesser players, but they don't do it every game. But over 46 games, if they do it 30 times and the team win 28 of them,
basic football, yes, we sat back last week and wasn't great to watch, but if we stopped the crosses coming in, I believe we would have won that game, because that's all West Brom had. But yeah, they had so much freedom down the wing, so there was no closing them down. They had all the freedom of the city, and they were just crossing balls in all day long. The doors were open for them, left-hand side and right-hand side, all through that second half. And they've got some big players, tall players, and it was just inevitable what was going to happen if we didn't stop that from happening. But unfortunately, we didn't stop any of it from happening.
Your top players make a difference in the games, and I think we have to accept that sometimes. And some top teams, particularly if you've got experienced top players who know the league and have been around the league, and if I go to West Brom, Jed Wallace.
I don't know about this manager balls the shit out of me. Like,
tried to sign at Blackburn.
Sounds harsh because he's our manager, but I'm still definitely that one with Tony Mowbray. Like, doesn't excite me one bit.
Sprinting and being able to whip it into such a dangerous area. My frustration is that wouldn't have been happy with a draw against them, but we would have accepted it. 2 wins and a draw in the last 3 games. West Brom a team, I know why they're struggling at the bottom, but they've changed managers who's now won 4 games on the bounce.
Enjoy the game, Thane. Thanks for popping in, mate.
Yes, he's a
and
good coach, but he's also got some.
We'll catch you up, no doubt, and we'll be doing our reviews for the full-time match, whatever it may be, this evening. So enjoy, mate. Let's keep our fingers crossed there.
Than lesser players, and I think they've got a lot of good players there.
So that's Thane there. Like I said, go and check his channel out. He does some great reviews for the matches. Very passionate. He's a down-to-earth good lad as well. So go and check his channel out as well.
It's a cup competition. This is a league competition, as I said. The more often your top players impact the game, the better chance you've got of
Got to be just a yes man, Dale, hasn't he?
You know, we've got good players here, but you know, Ahmed's highlighting it at the moment. A little thing, you know, he's a boy who cost Manchester United a lot of money, and but his quality is there. I know I see it in training every day. He just doesn't. He hardly ever, miscontrols the ball. He always gives it to a teammate. When he dribbles, he keeps it really
better
tight.
than Parkinson and Laura McMenemy. Oh, yeah.
Passes it,
He's
gets
without
to the
doubt better
person
than
he
that.
passes it to. And yet we've got lots of players who can do that, but probably not as consistently as Ahmed. Practically every time he touches it, it goes where he wants it to go. And that's just
unfortunate. Ahmed is an hour player, though. That's the trouble.
We've got other quality players as well, of course, but it's just the consistency, you know. Because every footballer, I have always believed, every footballer who gets to professional level to play in the Championship,
management should have kept Neil
like the best player in their school and their town,
third now.
It's
just typical
so
Sunderland through and through, isn't it?
They can all pass it, they can all
can't
run,
seem
they can
to keep
all
hold of a
tackle,
fucking goal, does lot.
But some players are a bit special, and I think you know, the top teams generally have special players that make an impact on the games, and in such big games like World Cup semi-finals, that's when you hope your big players make the impact.
Understandably, there's a lot of attention on Ross Stewart, but there were other players. I mean, Ahmad is one of them, and I guess his future is up.
I mean, to be fair, we've not done too bad without Stewart when you come to think of it.
Can't really predict, but someone like Alex Pritchard, whose contract's up in the summer, and we've spoken before about how much money has been spent on Pritchard. I mean, where do you see him within the spectrum now going forwards?
I like Pritch, you know. He's an opinionated guy, Pritch, but you either take to that or you don't. And I like to get challenged. I like players questioning, and I think it's good because basically, if you've got nothing to fear, nothing to hide, you know, I want people to test the knowledge all the time, and Pritch brings that. But what he does bring is the balance between in possession and out of possession. You know, a very talented boy in possession who can.
Welcome to the 10 people watching. Thank you very much.
At the end of scored a few goals over the last few months as well. But he's an artistic player. But I would have to say, in my opinion, his biggest strength.
Click the thumbs up and give us a subscribe if you can. Thank you.
And so when we ask them to press in a certain way or to wait for a moment to press, Pritch understands instantly and does it, and he sort of leads the way on that, really, and he demands.
That's the problem. Most of this team go in the summer, so how the fuck does that explain Morocco?
Where he is contractually, again, I try not to push this aside, but it's not my role at the football club really to sit down with Pritch or his agents, his advisors, to negotiate where it might end up. But yeah, I as a football coach, I like Pritch. He helps the team. He understands the coaching points, and he tries to emphasise them from on the pitch rather than me getting hoarse shouting on the touchline constantly, non-stop, to try and make sure you voice drive the team.
I mean, how can that voice drive a team, Tony Mowbray?
Would you ideally like a few more players with that mentality? Because I'm thinking
I'm a big arse. I don't know.
In the second half.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing from Melbourne, Australia?
And someone used the word innocence.
I hope we can get put a full 90 minutes of the football of this game. Not like the West Brom game. I'm hoping for a 2-1 win. Yep, I'll be happy with any win at all, to be honest with you.
It's experience, isn't it? It's and again, if we're equating to
what's the weather like down under, Mike? Because it's hot and sunny.
France have a lot of players who've been there, seen it, done
yeah, we do need a good team, not a Messi or Ronaldo, absolutely.
Game management is massive in football. Not to panic when the other team have lots of the ball, and as long as you're fill in the right positions.
Panic. That's exactly what we did against West Brom, Tony Mowbray. What were you watching?
Areas, I think that's fine. You know, to take the game, when do you switch from passive to aggressive, or vice versa? When do you take a natural break in the game?
You go 1-0 up against West Brom and you totally fucking go defensive for the remainder of the match.
There's going to be spells in the game when the opposition have some good play and some passes, and you have to make sure you don't concede in them moments. And generally that comes from the inside the team. And yeah, listen, it's not for me. I knew the job I was taking on. I think we do have, you know, Danny Bath as an expert, Corey Evans, Pritch. You know, we do have a spattering of experienced players, and
Need that French
from
ref.
them experienced players, how vocal they all are or how opinionated they all are is different variations, I would suggest. But yeah, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, I'd love to have another 3 28-year-olds playing. You know, it's the team is what the team in my mind is a developing, growing team that we have to improve, and we have to make them understand football as well as their individual performance level has to stay high, and that's a challenge every game. And yet we all feel the frustration and the hurt of a defeat, you know, late on. But it's part of football. We have to try and use it as a learning tool and keep trying to grow. Not, I'd like to think we don't bash the team. We don't tell them how terrible they are because they lost to West Bromwich Albion, and because somewhere down the line the experience of these games have got to start helping, whether it's the next 5 games, the next 3 games, the next 100 games. You know, these lads have got to grow and develop, and somewhere down the line, you know, Dan Neil will have played 200 games for the club and he'll be a much better footballer, even though, you know, he's got certain aspects of his game that are very good, but he's got certain aspects that he has to develop, and that's the same with most of the younger element of the team.
3 of your next 4 are away from home against.
Is he still going on?
Yeah. Lower half of the table, though West Brom has proved that's probably not.
No, you score on defences, you can see them scoring every time. Yeah. All right, on defensive if you're 4 or 5 nil up, innit?
And the away form's more significant. Do you think it's does it increase the pressure on you? Or is it a big opportunity? How do you look at those games?
I genuinely look at the next game. I don't. So we go into Hull and we're going to go and try and win. And yet, as I've said, having watched Hull, they're a decent team. You know, their position is
too soft to need a
almost false because the new manager's come in.
Needed more than a bollocking on that performance on Monday. It was awful.
It's given them a new focus, I think, is the best way to put it. A new way of playing and a new focus of how they play. And you know, to go to Watford and get 0-0 and have some decent results over the last few weeks. It's a tough game for us, you know, and I say that believing it's a tough game, but it's also a game, you know, no tougher than Birmingham City away.
Hello, Mike. No Pritchard. Yeah, does anybody know why Pritchard ain't starting?
Elements to their game that are really difficult to play against, and as you saw in both of them games, there were spells where, you know, we were on the back foot and they were really pushing, but there's also spells where we scored some really good goals, and that can be what this game looks like at the weekend. We have to take advantage of the opportunities that come along, and we have to be ruthless, but understand that we moments in the game where we suffer because they've got some good passing rotations and they move the ball through the team and they got some belief back. So it's probably not a great time to play them, as opposed to pre-change of the manager. You know, their results were pretty poor every week, and this is why the odd win doesn't help them that much. You know, when you're down there, you win one, lose one, win one, lose, and you're still down there after the run. Really, you need to start winning back-to-back games, and that's what I'm sure their message is, and they'll be full of intent. I think at the weekend we have to be able to manage that and see whether we can find a way to get a result like we have on the road a few times this season.
Total Sport.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Teams have just emerged from the tunnel, led by the referee Gavin Ward, who's all in black this afternoon. He was last in charge of Sunderland only once this season, actually.
But we have too many drop
Swansea
points.
back in October, the game that finished 2-1 to the Swans. So Hull City in their black and amber stripes this afternoon, Sunderland in their light blue away to our left. They've just been firing off some pyrotechnics, but on the wrong side of the pitch. We could do with a bit of heat here.
We could do.
It's the stand on the far side that's had all the benefit.
To be fair, it's not cold.
It's not too bad, actually. It's that sort of raw winter's afternoon. I don't think it's too bad, actually. It's certainly not as bad as Monday night at the Stadium of Light. I think it's hovering around 2 degrees, which is positively balmy, bearing in mind the temperatures we've had this week. 2,500 Sunderland fans away on the left-hand side in the corner, below the floodlights that stand on the sort of concave roof of the MKM Stadium as it's known now. 20 years it's been here. I've lost count of how many times we've been here. The last time we were here, though, was during COVID, and we were here with a few pigeons, and that was it, really, wasn't it?
Indeed. I've managed here.
Have you managed here? With Darlington?
Yeah.
Excellent. We're going to have a minute's applause for the former Hull City chairman, Allen, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. Change of ownership here in the last few months or so, and there's been a change from what those that regularly cover Hull tell us. It's a team now, a club now that are looking on the up. New manager, a refreshing approach to changes off the pitch as well. So a team in transition, a club in transition.
Man, look at this, isn't it?
There's home from home.
When did they adopt this?
This afternoon.
Huh?
Bloody hell, you think Sunderland were at home?
I thought I was at the Stadium of Light.
It's extraordinary. Hopefully Sunderland...
Just said that.
I think they put on the wrong music. I think they put on the wrong disc.
I just hope Sunderland aren't lulled into a false sense of security, thinking they're playing at the Stadium Light, bearing in mind their home form.
Yeah.
But great to hear that at the start of the game. Sunderland will get the game underway this afternoon. Ross Stewart and Dan Ballard are on the bench. The starting lineup: Anthony Patterson making his 50th appearance, wearing burgundy this afternoon. Gooch, O'Nien, Barton, Elise, Neil, Evans, Ahmad, Embleton, Clark.
Takes a knee. Sorry.
What was that?
I just was looking at the official. He was taking a knee.
Did Hull City take the knee? I was actually reading the team out then. No. I didn't look. But Gavin Ward then in black, short sleeves on this bitterly cold afternoon, is about to get us underway. Hull City defending the goal away to our left, behind which in the corner the Sunderland supporters are housed. And the ball is back here with Elise forwards to Embleton, who's playing out wide left. Clark's inside of it at the moment, but Embleton's drifted into the middle as the ball goes out to O'Nien on the far side and whipped down that right wing over the top of Sims and cleared up to the halfway line, looking to try and get Regan Slater away, but one back. Clark in his light blue and gloves this afternoon, out to Elise on the left touchline, halfway inside the Hull City half. Tyler Smith picks it up, leaves it inside to be played out to the right wing, where it's swept up to the halfway line. Trying to get his head on the end of it is Oscar Estupinan, who's back in the side after a 3-game suspension, having been sent off at Millwall, their leading scorer with 8 goals this season. Estupinan
is a big unit.
Looks strong, doesn't he? Shaven-headed Colombian with 1 cap, which he won in the summer.
It's interesting that Christie's playing as a centre-back, and he usually plays as a out-and-out right back.
Yeah, it's what I thought might happen. We said that, didn't we, when we looked at the team? We thought Coyle, because he is a right or left back, would come in at that position, and Cyrus Christie is
still singing the Yellow song. He's told them not to sing.
Alongside Sean McLaughlin, with Jacob Greaves at left back, Ryan Woods and John Serry in midfield, then further forward Regan Slater, Tyler Smith, Ryan Longman and Oscar Estupinan, as we say, up front, as O'Nien bursts forwards with the ball out for a throw to Hull on the far side, just short of the halfway line. And it'll be taken by Greaves, I think, over on that far side. And looking for some support here, looking for someone. It goes down the touchline. He picked out, I think, Longman in the end, but in the end Sunderland managed to get the ball back up onto halfway. Christie heads it forward, signed from Fulham in the summer, Cyrus Christie. But a break here, possibly. And Ahmad, he gets a push in the back. Surely that's a nudge in the back. The referee gives nothing. It put him off balance. You could clearly see the hand in the back, but the referee says no foul, as Ahmad was trying to work an opening on the right-hand side. Now Hull on the counter-attack here. Slater over the halfway line on that left-hand side, then down the left wing. Longman trips, and the ball is allowed to run behind by Gooch for a goal kick. So Patterson then retrieves the ball. O'Nien and Bart either side of him. Tony Mowbray in his tracksuit at the corner of his technical area.
If we lose today, I want Murray out of that bloody club.
Bellowed a few instructions. Whether he could anybody could hear them out on the pitch is open to question. As O'Nien swings the ball across to Elise. Poor ball, sloppy really. Played it behind Elise and out for a throw to Hull City. Forward comes Louis Coyle to take this. Born in Kingston upon Hull, but he was signed from Fleetwood, having started his career with Leeds. The 27-year-old right back. Down the line he throws it, but Sunderland have it back. Dug out by Embleton. Now Evans showing his experience, rolling off Estupinan.
Matthew C, welcome mate. Says my prediction is 0-0. Hopefully Sunderland will take the win.
Free kick to Sunderland.
Yep.
Nearly 4 minutes played. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. You hear the Sunderland fans over on the far side. I always see the Ferry Hill flag. It always seems to be the first that's put up at games, home and away. They're here today, everywhere we go. O'Nien at the corner of the penalty area, his own penalty area. Out to Gooch on the right, down to Ahmad. Tackled though by Greaves, and now played out past Longman for a throw to Sunderland, which Gooch will take. Leaves it for down to O'Nien and back to Anthony Patterson. Taps it to Danny Bart and out to Elise on this left-hand side. See the markings for the Rugby League as Hull FC play here as well, as Slater goes to close down Patterson, but he gets the ball away. Out to Gooch on the touchline, back to O'Nien, across the penalty area to Danny Bart. Bart brings it out into central midfield, squares it to his right to O'Nien.
What's your white Bailey right in playing? I think he's got a knock or something, I don't know.
To Lyndon Gooch, back into O'Nien, through the middle now to Corey Evans, looking for Embleton, but it was Neil. No, I thought it was Evans. It was Evans, yeah, but the pass was cut out.
Hello, Matthew. See, I enjoy your live stream, yeah. I'm fairly new, but I always keep a lookout every game and help your live stream in the community. Thanks very much, Matthew. That means a lot. Thanks a lot, mate. Thank you.
But he plays it back behind him to Jean Serry, the Ivory Coast international. He'll know Ahmad, of course. And here's Serry again, but it's lost by Hull and picked up by Ahmad, who, of course, plays or would feature for Ivory Coast, and he's fouled, and it's a free kick to Sunderland over on the far side. I actually don't think Dan Neal's had a touch yet. Sims wide on the right, trying to get past McLaughlin. Wins a throw. Gooch will take this. Ahmad is in close attention. Sims picks himself up off the floor. Ahmad here then on the right, plays it back behind him down the line to O'Nien. Here to Evans. Evans just in the Hull half, back into his own half to Bart in the middle.
So we've got Sunderland playing in their blue strip away from home. Tony Mowbray standing at the dugout there with his arms folded like that.
Just to Luke O'Nien on the right, and he swings it across the pitch. He's looking for Clark. Coyle's got his head on it. and heads it over Clark and out for a throw to Sunderland down this left-hand side, which Aji Elise will take.
27, 26 watching. If you can click the thumbs up and give us a subscribe, thanks. Any new people on there, if you can just click the subscribe button, and much appreciated. Thanks. It has been quiet the last few weeks, but the World Cup has been on.
Almost on the goal line, just a couple
And I
of
will be
yards
starting to
from
put
the
loads of
corner
videos
left.
up.
Free kick then.
Previous matches Sunderland have played in the past, and I'll be doing a bit of commentary over the videos. Because you can't just get a video and just post it on YouTube because it's classed as somebody else's, and you can't do that. So you've got to make content of your own. So there'll be plenty of stuff coming up.
Embleton then will take this. Tyler Smith just lurks at the edge of the penalty area, one-man wall. Sims on the 6-yard line.
Yeah, there's zonal marking, aren't there, as well?
And
do appreciate them 25 people now that's tuned in.
Players in the penalty area. Evans at the back of the box and Dan Neil. So here's Embleton, whips it in with his right, so just over the head of Danny Bart. Comes out to Gooch in midfield. Lays it off
I'll be live streaming every game, Matthew.
Swings it over here.
Every game I'll be live streaming, mate. Absolutely.
We'll play it out wide.
And we also do a Friday show when the football season's up and running again. Every Friday night, me, Anthony Mackham, and Jacob, we all have our weekly Sunderland show on a Friday night, a bit of chat and debate. Keith Lupton, good day from West Australia, Perth. Hello mate, how are you doing?
Sims laying it off on the right side here to Luke O'Nien. Back inside to Evans. O'Nien again on the touchline. Inside again to Dan Neil, just in the whole half. And back to Danny Bart at the back of the centre circle. He squares it to Lyndon Gooch. Gooch rolls it forwards for the underside of his foot up to Sims. Sims taps it to Dan Neil. It's fouled by Estupina and a shove in the back. And a free kick on the right-hand side of the centre circle. Quickly taken by Dan Neil. Tapping it to Evans, to Ahmad now. Back inside to Neil. Forwards here. Embleton just trying to get it through to Sims. But Cyrus Christie whips across. Sims trying to win it back. But Hull have it here with Sean McLaughlin. Out to Seri. Under pressure from Embleton, gets it back to Matt Ingram. He lays it off though, and it's cleared by Sean McLaughlin out to Coyle on the right.
I think Ant will be back sometime tomorrow morning. I think he's coming back from Australia, isn't he, Dale?
To Coyle, and Coyle up towards the halfway line. An interception from Evans, but it's a throw almost on halfway on the right for Hull City.
Yeah, we've just seen the sign off what Hull want to do. They'll want to try to play out from the back.
They've still got the rugby markings on the Hull City pitch.
Greaves,
you can still see where the rugby matches are being played.
The former Hull and York defender Mark Greaves, another born locally, just up the road. Jacob Greaves, here he is again in the middle of his own half, laying it off the 22-year-old to Sean McLaughlin, and he's played a great ball down the right wing to the goal line to Coyle, and Elise puts it behind for a corner. Great vision.
McLaughlin, yeah. He likes to get forward, doesn't he, Coyle? On his right-hand side, the right full-back.
Bomb right up. And the first corner of the game then, it comes to Hull City.
Yeah, you've got to make sure we're on our toes here, concentrating here.
And Ryan Woods, I think this is possibly his first touch of the game, the ginger-haired midfielder. Experienced, signed from Birmingham in the summer. He will take the corner kick, curls it into a penalty spot. Sims got a touch to it, headed it away, and Seri runs onto it. Little flick, back heel behind him, and it's whipped in here and headed away again by Danny Bart from Longman's attempt. And now back in it comes from Seri, and a good save from Tyler Smith by Patterson.
I tell you what,
close range,
excellent. You must have seen that late.
Yeah, I think thought he probably scored, but somehow Patterson
Bart's gone down. Bart's gone down.
Yeah, tapped the ball away. Bart is down in the penalty area. That was a chance for Hull. Great save though from Patterson.
How are you doing?
Excellent save. He's seen it late.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you okay?
Come for a crowd of players. It's a great whipped in ball.
I called on that, yeah.
Yeah, he skipped up off the surface.
Good reaction.
Just welcome
treatment here.
Jacob, Yorkshire Mackham to the channel. Don't know if you can hear him all right.
BBC Radio Newcastle. A reminder, if you missed
Hello everyone.
Martin O'Neill on Total Sport last night.
I must have got the Newcastle variant, that's why I'm not
loud.
Dale Boyd just says, need Kane for that rugby pitch. Oh, don't remind us of that bloody penalty again. Oh my God.
And 7 o'clock. Now,
Dan is that for England or?
It's the goalkeeping coaches actually.
Yeah, well, Hull City, if they share their rugby ground, that's their rugby ground as well. We'll still see the rugby markings, and that's ideal for Harry Kane. Don't remind us of that awful freaking moment, will you?
Because he doesn't he doesn't go down and stay down.
No, Ballard's
Matthew, see this? Hey?
We weren't going to win the World Cup though.
Oh, shite. Matthew, see, this is perfect, mate, for games that aren't on the radio. There are a few other live streams in the country, but I think yours are by far the best. I'll be tuning in for every game in the future. Thanks, Matthew. Very kind, Matthew.
Yeah. We're not going to win the Euros either, no.
We'll hype it up. Mike Cassups just said loud and clear and said hello to Jacob.
Hello, Mike.
He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant.
Me and DJ with Southgate out, he's just...
Ballard is stripped off.
He's not good enough.
Bart is walking
Ballard's coming on.
The touchline here. Doesn't look entirely comfortable, I have to say. It's not an
He's had his chances, Southgate, as far as I'm concerned. He's had his chances. He fucked it up against Croatia, fucked it up against Italy big time. And we couldn't score an open play against France. We can't rely on penalties. And he's failed on three attempts as far as I'm concerned. Any other manager would have been gone in the World Cup.
I mean, we were a better team against
France. You can't play attacking football under Southgate when it matters.
Get Ozzy or Mourinho as manager for England.
I know.
At the back for Sunderland.
Nah, France are winning tomorrow. I know people say Argentina, but I think France might nick it.
To this left-hand side.
Yeah, Ballard's gone right. That was his position, wasn't it, when he was playing early in the season before his injury?
Nah, I've been watching Soccer Saturday, and we've had more possession, but
a big miss. Ballard in the half.
I think we've really done out with ball.
No.
Just let the ball roll past him now. Back to Patterson.
Yeah, I've got to say that Bart was a rock in that heart defence.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Matthews just said we did well in the World Cup.
Got, what, 10 days
I think we did well though in the World Cup. I think could have done much better, but it is what it is. Of course, it is what it is. It's fine margins, isn't it? It's they scored open play, we didn't. It's such fine margins, and you don't get a second chance when you play in the big teams in World Cups and knockout football. Because teams like France will not give you a second chance.
Or Spain, or
Spain, no.
You knew his dad, Leroy, didn't you?
Dale's just said hello, Jacob.
Excellent.
Hello, Dale.
Lovely lad.
Don't know, can you see the chat, Jacob? Can you see all right?
Yeah, I've got it on my phone. Yeah.
Oh, you can see it. Right, that's fine.
Liam, following his
Keith Lumpton from
into
Australia.
Management here, his first full management job.
Good eye.
Liam Rosino, only 38 as the ball.
Stuart could come on though, couldn't he, in second half?
Good eye. Horse 33, come on, son from Italy. Welcome from Italy.
Tried to swing it across the
Nice one. Where in Italy are you from?
Ahmad goes to win it back, but it breaks for Greaves.
I'd like to go there one day, so it's meant to be beautiful.
Out to Longman, and then a foul by Gooch.
Yeah, I've got a good friend out there.
Where in Italy is he? Is he in whereabouts?
In the 16th minute.
He's off the coast, south coast. I can't remember the place where he lives, but it's like a small town. But he's got a farm as well. Like he grows his own vegetables and stuff. It looks dead peaceful.
In the summer.
Yeah, Dale, we did play crap. We're not good enough. It was like watching us. Well, I've often said when England play, it's like you're supporting Sunderland again, and it's never comfortable.
Smith was just behind him.
Well, everybody's kicking off because the Sunderland match was advertised on the red button on Sky, and it ain't on. It's not on.
Forwards then to Embleton, plays it back again into the penalty area.
Who you think's going to win tomorrow then, DJ? Argentina or France?
I think France will. I'm not bothered who wins it now because I couldn't give a shit about both sides. I didn't like both teams, so I'm completely neutral. If Argentina win it, so what? France win it, so what? I'm really not arsed, but I think France will win it. People keep going on about, let's do it for Messi. I couldn't even fuck about Messi. It's out with it with us.
He
He's a
got
cheating
past
bastard,
him, gets
he's
the ball
messed
out to
it. I think
Christy Clark,
he handballed
keeps
it
the
once.
press. And now
In the
Woods
tournament. I think I'm not sure if
Seri
it was against.
and Elise
against,
penalised
Oh,
a
no.
foul.
Might have been Netherlands.
On,
Take risks, don't they?
Yeah,
But,
Smith.
I tell you what, if they're comfortable doing it, do it.
So,
We always find a
0-0
way to
free
fuck
kick
it up,
to Hull City inside the Hull half. Seri now with it, plays it out wide to Coyle, just keeps it in, tucks inside now.
Bath's gone off. I hope he's not too injured.
And Woods leaves it to Seri in the centre circle, just behind them.
As you said, Argentina, I
Seri
reckon.
again, to Christie
Fuck
behind
Messi,
again,
but I think they'll have
and
it.
then Sean McLaughlin looking for another those long passes.
I mean, I hope
down
it's
the
a good
left this
game.
time. Picked up by Longman at the corner.
Didn't
of the
want it to
penalty
go into
area.
penalties.
Slater's
Shit,
inside
that.
him, making a run. Longman still has it. Longman trying to come in past Gooch.
Still surprised
Crosses
Italy didn't
to the far
qualify then.
post. It
Messed
swings
up,
round
didn't
in front
I
of
know.
Coyle behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, we've got to be
Yeah,
wary of that.
yeah, Italy and Germany
Again,
are not the same as what they used to be.
McLaughlin, that's twice.
Very good ball.
Especially Germany.
Play.
Yeah. But
18
they'll come
minutes
back, will
played.
Germany. They'll come back
Hull
to
City
being
0,
what they used
Sunderland
to
0
be.
live on
Again.
BBC Radio Newcastle. There are no non-league games this afternoon. Phone in till 6.
Nice.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't know who
remember.
would replace
I can't remember what I
Southgate.
said.
Though, that's the issue.
Here's
Who would want to come
Dan
to
Neil.
England?
He's making a break down the left. Clark
I don't know. It'll be
cutting
interesting.
inside, leaves it for Embleton, who goes out wide.
Messi's
again.
over, says Dale.
Embleton closed down by Ryan Woods, turns and looks up, plays it inside.
Nah, he's
again
going to stay
to
until the next
Dan
Euros,
Neil,
I reckon, and then
Embleton,
he'll go.
Sims, and Embleton gets the ball back.
I hope he
comes back
goes.
from a tackle to Evans, and then Gooch to his right.
But the
We'll
players
probably
that
get
Ahmad, and then he's
in
played it through
Euros
to
and then
Embleton
mess
at
it
the
up
corner of
and
the penalty
he'll go.
area, then through into the box to Gooch. He tries a shot, wins a corner.
them players we've got are good enough to win a tournament. We just need to be managed
Well, it
properly.
all started from Elliot
Yeah.
Embleton being nice and bright. He's on the ball again. Good.
Short corner, now
Yeah,
Ahmed
we've
on
got
the
good
left foot
players.
in the penalty area, and
Saka,
his left shot.
Kane,
It's
Henderson,
blocked, comes back out
Sterling.
here.
Oh, they're both.
And they
Foden,
both went for
Mount,
the same ball.
Pickford
Ahmad
as
and
well.
Evans, they
Yep.
collide and Hull
Capable, it's
pick
just
up the loose ball. Evans trying to win it back.
Looks
from
like Sunderland's
Seri,
causing
out
problems
the
at the
right
match
to
at the
Longman.
minute.
Back behind him to Christie. And now with the
What's
goalkeeper.
your score prediction today?
Closed down
Sam
again
going
by
with a
Sims.
2-0 win.
Passes it over to Greaves.
I'm going for like a 2-0.
Greaves closed down.
Yeah.
He lifts it over Ahmad up to the halfway line.
Yeah, I think.
Headed in the air by Estupinan.
But it's not going to be.
Putting his
We
foot
need.
through
We
it,
can't forget. It's
Elise,
not going to be an
and
easy
it'll
ride for
bounce out
Sunderland
for
this
a throw
season. It's
to
first
Hull
season
City
back
on
in
the
the
far side on
Championship,
the
and
left wing.
I just hope the club strengthens.
Blackpool on Boxing Day, Hull City, and they're home to Fulham in the FA Cup, from whom
So we
they've
don't sell
signed a few
Stewart.
players in the summer. Will they
I'm Messi will be spending a stint at Sunderland.
former club on the backside? As Coyle heads one through here now, looking for Tyler Smith, but O'Nien's
He had
cut
a few
across the face of him
players from Argentina,
and
something like Julio
swings
Arca,
it
didn't
down
we? And
the
he were a legend.
left wing. Back
Quality
to
player, yeah.
Cyrus Christie. Clark goes to close him down. Christie plays it back to Matt Ingram, former Queen's Park Rangers.
What have Hull been like? Have they been threatening,
He
or have they
whips
just
it
been
out back up to
sitting
the
back?
halfway line, straight onto the head of Elise.
There's not really been much flow at the game, to be honest with you.
I think he'll give you a chance, the goalkeeper.
Both teams have not really
I think he'll make a mistake.
got a hold of it.
Embleton.
Yeah.
Back to O'Nien. Across to Dan Ballard.
I reckon he's a Sunderland fans though.
Ballard under pressure, but he got it back quickly to
I mean, they did well to start with Hull, and now they've had a bit of
continued the
a
chase,
downfall.
but-
haven't they?
Yeah, no.
Or Slater it was,
be a
continued the
good
chase,
chance
but
to
now
play
it's
him.
back up on halfway, and a foul by Embleton on Tyler Smith from a Sheffield United.
Yeah, it is a slow game.
Back it goes to Christie, into the middle to Sean McLaughlin. And the Irishman gets it to Greaves.
Yeah, we'll probably come back at
McLaughlin
them in second half.
Gets
I
it
think.
back
We'll be more
over to Christie. Christie now.
threatening.
It's a very stop-start game. There's a lot of players going down and that. There's no real flow to it.
They were 19th they finished last season.
And as I speak, another player goes down for Hull. That's a free kick.
With his kick out to Coyle in front of his manager.
If it were a Sunderland player that went
onto
down, the ref
Estupinan,
would
who
say,
gets
"Oh,
it
play
back
on."
out to the right wing.
Aye,
but
always the
Elise
case.
there, heads it up. Coyle
Offside,
wins the
he's
header.
offside.
I don't know what it is
Trying to
with
get it down
referees
to
and some.
Smith. And the ball played back by O'Nien to
It's a joke.
Patterson. Smith went down, he's picked himself up. And now with Embleton on this left wing, tackled by Coyle. And Coyle wins a free kick. Both are on the floor. Embleton, the player, penalised. Nearly
Have you
22
done your
minutes in,
Christmas
Hull
shopping,
City
BJ?
0, Sunderland
We're
0.
getting there, yeah.
There's a goal in this game, sure.
Yes. I think there's more than one goal.
For yourself?
But you just think
Yeah, I
the way
think
they're
they've
playing
pretty
at the
much
present
done
moment.
now. I think there might be
you
still
think it's
some
gonna
stuff
be a
coming in
mistake.
post that my mum's ordered. But
West Bromwich Albion 1, Rotherham
there's already
0.
wrapped up presents under tree and that, so...
Coyle is still on the floor.
I just
at the
don't
moment.
know what to
Ross
get
Stewart's
myself.
going
The wife
for a
keeps asking us, and I'm not too sure.
jog down the touchline.
Well, we've got Sunderland Christmas
Sunderland fans
crackers.
have now realised he's doing that, and
They've just come in
the
post, so...
applause. Ryan Woods leaves the free kick, does he? No, taps it back to
I like
Christie.
Christmas. I always have done. I always have done.
Back again to McLaughlin.
And nowadays you can just get people going on holiday for Christmas.
Jog as well.
You do. It's more and more
Christie on
happening
the
that I've
right-hand
noticed
side.
that.
Played down the right wing, Coyle,
As
and
time's gone on,
Elise
yeah,
gets a foot to it, but straight to Coyle.
It's interesting,
and
isn't it?
then
Like,
played back to
there are
Woods
some places that are
inside
nice at
to
Christmas, like New
Seri,
York,
and back out
Paris,
to Coyle on the
and that.
right wing.
Yep.
Elise in front of him. The Coyle swings across into the box. Estepinan's header a yard past the left post.
And again, you know, I think Sunderland needs to identify where Hull's strengths are, and it's the
Not
two
worth the
full-backs
hassle
who's
going
pushed
on
right
holiday
on,
for
especially
Christmas.
Coyle on
No,
this
no,
side.
we're just
Coyle
visiting
predominantly,
the wife's sisters and stuff on the night.
Yeah.
Back with McLaughlin,
My
and
grandparents
Christie, and
coming
now
over, so-
Seri. Over to Coyle, in his own half, back to Christie. Forwards to Seri, back to McLaughlin, and Greaves now on the left-hand side.
Come on, son,
Greaves
give us another
back to
Christmas presents.
the 26-year-old former
I need a
Cork
pick-me-up from last time.
centre half, who plays it to Christie.
Yeah.
And likewise,
There's not many goals in the Championship. The only goal there is, and that's West Brom. They're flying massive at the minute, West Brom. I mean, can they make it 5 wins out of 5?
McLaughlin yet to be capped by the Republic of Ireland. Christie has been capped 30 times. And the ball
They're going to be in the top 6, West Brom, I'll tell you now.
Sunderland.
You think?
Yeah, we underestimated them on Monday. We were just being smart arses saying, oh, the third off bottom will hammer these. And not realising like they're an ex-Premier League side, that they had far too much for us.
Very grey, wintry skies.
Well, it made it look
across
that way,
the
but
rooftops
there was
of
evidence on the pitch.
Kingston upon Hull here, out towards the North Sea. O'Nien plays the ball forwards to Dan Neal.
Can't underestimate
Back
any
to
team,
O'Nien.
can you? Because
No.
come to bite you in the
wing,
arse.
Elise inside
You've got to play every
Dan
game like
Neal.
it's a difficult game. You can't have the attitude saying it'll be a walkover. You can't do that.
Penalty area. Forwards
No.
again to Neal.
And the
Closed down
Championship's
by
not an
Smith,
easy,
who
well,
shoves
no,
it in the
league's
back.
easy, but...
No, I
I
know.
think the referee was going to blow, but he's played the advantage. It's out with Elise on the left-hand side.
Oh,
But
Croatia won, Morocco won. Morocco have equalised.
In the 25th minute.
Yeah.
They equalised 2 minutes after
Back again to
Croatia
O'Nien.
scored.
Away from Slater across to Ballard.
Sunderland fans, we shouldn't
back to
go, oh, we're going
Patterson.
down, because it's not an easy...
Is
First season back's not easy, is it?
Oh, hell no.
We're going to get results that don't go our way.
If we stay up this season, it's a massively successful season.
Patterson in the D.
Nah, we're too
and
good to go
Lyndon
down, I think.
Gooch. Sorry,
Too strong
to
of a squad.
Ballard and Gooch. Gooch
Absolutely.
back to Evans. Here's O'Nien
I think
in the
Huddersfield...
middle. To Elise on the
Huddersfield could
left-hand
survive, but
side here.
it's not
Down
looking
to
good,
Clark,
though.
just in the whole half, and he's scrabbled away past Smith, and now cutting across the centre.
Have you heard about Mike
looking
Ashley
for
buying
Gooch on
the
right
Coventry
wing.
Stadium?
Good ball.
I'll turn it into a bloody gym.
Gooch now has got Ahmad
Yeah.
just behind him. Ahmad makes a run. Gooch turns and puts it on his left foot.
And
Looking
there's
for
been
Clark.
rumours of William Story trying
Just
to buy
over his
Coventry
head
as well, I
behind
think.
for a goal kick.
Unlucky.
Oh.
He tried to pick
Had
up Clark
options,
at there.
didn't he, there?
Yeah,
A couple of options.
much better.
Mike Ashley might
Then
make it
to-
into
then
a
to
gymnast class, you know.
Evans,
Like,
who
Aye, and
turns
absolutely.
With great, just sort of sense of presence, just managed to turn
Some
away
sort
and
of
find
Zumba
space
class
away
or
from
something like
Slater.
that.
Gets it again now, Evans. He keeps things simple, but he does it well.
They're the
He
lads.
just keeps him ticking over,
Yeah, doesn't he? Just knows he's just so aware of what's around him. And Neal swinging one up through the middle.
I remember when
And now
William
Evans
Story
trying to win
tried
it
to buy
again in
us,
the
it
middle. He
just...
does. Gets it out to Gooch.
Yeah, I just
Another
don't know what the
short
crack is
pass
with that at all.
Out to Lyndon Gooch. Evans gets it back again.
He looks
and then
like
just taps
a
it into Dan
motorcyclist,
Neal
didn't
at
he?
the edge of the
He did, aye.
centre
Hell's
circle.
Angels.
Swings it out to the left to Clark. Clark, Coyle on his shoulder.
He had some weird
sticking
views,
with
though,
him.
didn't he? About
And,
Coventry,
Yep.
didn't he?
Clark just upended.
Well, thanks to the subscriber, Craig there. Thanks a lot, mate. Thank you very much.
Coyle put his arms right round Clark's midriff and hauled him over like he was playing
think-
rugby league here. Now
I
the
don't know.
free
I
kick
hope
taken
Coventry
quickly.
get the
Clark inside
stadium
now
back.
to Neil in the penalty area.
Would have come back
He's done well to keep hold of it, gets it back out to Gooch in the middle. Now Ahmad. Down the right is Ballard. Greaves has gone with him. Ballard's low ball in, took a touch from the defender, but back
It's
to the goal.
I'm just watching Sunderland at the minute. It's that final ball, and probably Gary Bennett will commentate on this in a minute and bring it up. It's just that final product.
We're in the
We've just had a chance there. I'm slightly ahead of the commentary.
and Sims goes to close Ingram down again. He got
we're
the ball
just
out to Woods.
we're passing it well around the box,
Through the middle.
but it's that final cross, that final ball into the
At the edge
box.
of the centre circle, fouled by 09. A bit of afters from the Colombian.
Who do you think's the better
Referee
team
was
though at
right
the minute?
on
Is it
the spot.
slightly Sunderland or
Estepinian
slightly Hull, or is
just,
one mile off better than the other?
niggling at the ankles
Can't
of
separate the sides at the minute.
09 didn't react. And Seri free kick taps it to free kick taps it to Woods.
No,
To
I
his
think we
right,
should
back
really
to
be
Christie
beating
to
Hull.
Seri, out to
to
Woods
be
again,
fair, but
sweeps it over the top. Look at the penalty area.
Whatever happens,
Puts it on
happens.
with his
We
head
just
down
have
on his
to
left foot. Hooks it up into midfield. Woods heads it on.
not lose faith
Elise
and
hooks
keep
it away again.
supporting the
Sims
lads no
nods
matter
it down.
what.
Ahmad runs onto this. Ahmad trying to shake off. Oh, Longman, he's done that with aplomb and gets it up to Sims. Sims now trying to shake off Seri, holds him off for the moment, but the ball runs away from him, and Christie allows it to roll back to Matt Ingram, the goalkeeper. Coventry 1, Swansea 0. Seri to Greaves.
Arms on the way
Down
on.
the line
Did
to
you see his
Evans
text?
has it. Now Evans has it. Now Evans has it. Now Evans has it. Now Ahmad. Ahmad comes back into his own half, turns and just taps it back. Ross to.
What's going on there? A bit of Eminem rapping or something.
Drives it out to Elise on the touchline in front of Tony Mowbray. Now looking for Clark. Comes down off his shoulders and.
Fucking referee, man.
Free kick
Jesus.
for a foul on Coyle by Clark.
There's a little battle going on.
There's a whole City
this side,
player
isn't there,
falling over
between
or
Clark
something.
and
Oh,
Coyle.
constantly.
Half an hour played, 0-0.
Wouldn't surprise me if referees just
Sean
pull City
McLaughlin
from
to Greaves. Jacob Greaves back to McLaughlin. Then to Christie. Christie closed down by Clark. Back to Ingram, who passes it out to Woods. Then to McLaughlin again. And McLaughlin
Come on, Sunderland.
down the touchline and on to Longman.
Give us an early
Longman
Christmas
taking
present,
on
lads, come on.
Gooch. He's got Estepinian and Smith in the middle. He's in the penalty area, being forced to play it back to the D, and Slater trying to get it through.
Oh,
Called
that's
for
a
handball
sloppy
on
pass,
Embleton,
that,
but
Sunderland.
nothing given. Here's Coyle on the right hand side, back to Woods, into the middle to Seri. Seri closed down by Neil, pushes the ball back onto the halfway line. Here's Christie now. Christie out wide to Coyle. Coyle back to Cyrus Christie in his own half and into the middle. McLaughlin again. Out to Greaves on that.
In no great
left-hand
rush, Hull
side.
City to
Greaves
press forward at the minute.
Swinging it wide to Coyle here, over his head, and a throw to Sunderland. 0-0 still, 31 minutes almost played.
It's not going to stay 0-0.
I keep thinking that, and then the longer it goes on, I'm thinking, have we cursed this game by saying it won't?
I think Hull will be wanting to draw, but they're the best for them.
Well, I
to
get the
draw.
feeling
Yeah,
there
I
are, because
know.
I think there's a mistake in it somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
And here on the right-hand side is Gooch trying to get forwards.
Gooch has just
Slater
lost the ball.
Gets hold of it again though for Hull, plays it back behind to Greaves, inside
Who would you bring on then?
Seri.
Second
And here
half?
I'd have to give Stewart a go,
Seri
without a
again
doubt.
from Woods. And then Luke O'Nien, he's
But you
penalised
still
for
got to
foul.
be careful.
Fucking-
with him.
Yeah, I
In the
would
middle
do.
of the Sunderland half. And a free kick.
Don't forget, Sunderland players, you can't fucking
Hull
tackle a
City.
player because the referee will have you.
Bristol
Looks like
City
O'Nine's
1,
going to go in the
Stoke
book
City
here, is
0.
he? He's shaking his head, O'Nine. He's
Estepinian
disgusted
trying.
the fact like he's.
Sets up.
Is he getting a yellow card or just a talking to by the ref?
The referee's having a word with Luke O'Nien. Quite a strong.
It's a
stern
strong
word by
challenge.
the looks of things.
I think it was because it was like quite from behind O'Nine's
And,
challenge there.
bruised because O'Nien goes away without a yellow card.
Yeah, if a Sunderland player's going to do a tackle,
Seri will take the free kick for the home team.
It was the same in League One. We couldn't.
Sunderland pushing out high line. They're about 25 yards out. And Seri then with this free kick for Hull City. Just plays it short. Well, he took a deflection off the referee. So the referee grabs the ball, brings it back, and drop ball to Seri. So that free kick was completely...
What's he doing now? Come on.
What's the ref doing?
Yards away. Now, surely a drop ball is quite entitled. He doesn't just be 10 yards away, does he? Another drop ball. And Seri gets it forwards into the penalty area, down the right to Greaves. And it bounces onto the
referee gave a drop ball,
in the corner.
And because Embleton was too close to him and he got the ball, he picked the ball up again, the referee. It's a drop ball. There isn't a 10-yard rule with a drop ball. What the fuck are referees doing there? If the referee's putting a drop ball, the player can be anywhere he wants.
Swings across it towards the far post. Patterson came, paused, and then it's headed away by Ballard. He got his head on the end of that, but Slater will pull it back in again, and again it's Ballard who puts it behind.
I've got to say, Anthony Patterson, you're a lucky man because you was all over the place.
He
didn't know if he was coming or going. Good defending by Ballard there.
Twice. Second corner then for Hull from the left-hand side.
You've got to concentrate here.
They're lining up from the penalty spot, and the referee's blown. He's strolled across. He wants a word, and so they're having a conversation. Group of players just behind the penalty spot. Hull then waiting to take this corner kick. Referee Gavin Ward backs away from the players, and 3 on the 6-yard line for Sunderland. It's played short here, and then back to Seri just outside the area, and down the left again to Woods, who chips it in and headed over. Goal kick to Sunderland in the 35th minute. 0-0. Cardiff 1, Blackpool 0. Blackpool continuing to struggle by the look of things. They are second bottom. Huddersfield at the bottom at the moment, looking like they could get cast adrift. Huddersfield Town is Ahmad to Ballard, who plays it up to Embleton on the halfway line, down to Gooch, who tried to flick it round Greaves. Now he's been awarded a free kick. It looked like he got a knock in the face.
Yeah. The referee wasn't going to give it.
He wasn't.
It seemed like it's not a very entertaining first half.
No.
Straight down, he was holding his face, but the assistant then flagged.
But you never know, we could be.
Now, the referee's
right at him.
I think he's going to give him a yellow card.
Yellow card for Hull City here.
As we say, he didn't see it.
Feels like the Millwall game.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So it could be like we come at them in second half.
The natives aren't happy about that. First card of the afternoon. The halfway mark of the season, of course, this game. And a free kick.
I don't know if you can say that there or not, but that was for the foul.
And Ahmad. It's only a yard or two in from touch.
Is it about how bad was it the foul for Hull?
The keeper's got this.
He gets that all day long.
And he catches it comfortably.
Once again, it was a shit cross from Sunderland there, mind.
Waiting for everybody to get
gotta do better, man, wherever crosses.
McLaughlin and then Greaves. He plays it across
too high and lingering, and the keeper's got all day to come and collect it, you know.
Who flicks it back in, side him and out to the left. I mean, he doesn't half play with fire, Matt Ingram. And finally, McLaughlin swings it across to Coyle, who does well to keep it in on the right wing. Back to Christie. Clark nearly got it off him. Woods back to Christie. He plays it down the right, but to Elise, who puts it out.
Someone tell me what Elise does for Sunderland.
That's why I think they make a mistake. There's mistakes in this game, that's for sure.
You not like Elise?
Don't know what he do.
Here's Christie, back to
I think he knew like defence or something like that.
in the middle.
His usual position.
To Woods in the centre, and he plays it wide, looking for Coyle, cut out though by Embleton. Embleton, then to Neil in space behind him is Evans to Ahmad. He's going to try and get it down to Gooch, but Longman is across to clear. Comes off Gooch, drops at Ahmad, who nods it back to Ballard on the right. Ballard's fouled, surely, by Slater.
Have we missed another chance?
Free kick. Quickly taken to Neil. Neil forwards now to Embleton, to Sims. Who drives it over the bar into the Hull fans behind the goal. It's a chance, but he was
smacks his hands together in frustration, Sims, as he smashes the ball over there.
He's just gone for power.
It's a terrible shot there.
Don't give up, lads. Come on. Lewis Taylor says quality play, I think. I think he's on about Elise there.
So 0-0 still.
I quite like Elise.
Lewis Taylor says quality player. Yeah, I'm just throwing that question out.
Scoop one away at the other end now. Sims smashes one over the top. And a kick from Ingram.
I remember he got a lot of stick after we lost to Sheffield Wednesday, but that was just
out for a throw to Sunderland on the left. We're in the 39th minute.
He's improved since then, so.
Goalless, if you just
where did we sign him from again?
BBC Radio Newcastle.
West Ham. He were at West Ham since he was.
That's right. Yeah.
With the ball now.
Yeah.
Drives up through.
And West Ham fans were not happy to see him go, so that might tell you something of what kind of a player he is.
Well, it plays it off Greaves. I don't think he meant to, but he's had to come back and play it back to Ballard, and Ballard back to Patterson. Patterson passing it out again to Ballard on the right-hand side. I would say there's quite a lot of empty seats in the stadium when I'm looking around. It's hard some side to tell straight away because they're dark grey, black and white, but there are plenty of empty seats as McLaughlin plays it out to the left wing.
Very strange atmosphere at the ground.
Back to McLaughlin, back to the goalkeeper.
39 minutes.
But it feels like a punishment going to Hull, doesn't it?
And then Neil fouls him. Free kick to Hull. Quickly taken to Woods.
No, neither team has made the keeper work at all, really.
On his shoulder, out to Coyle. This is back in the Hull half still, and then a ball played down the touchline. It just rolls along the line in front of the assistant, and then a push by O'Nien. Smith goes tumbling over, and Sunderland have the throw. Nearly 40 minutes played. Hull 0, Sunderland 0. Patterson.
I'd be happy if it stays 0 at half time as long as we're going to go down.
Right hand side, then out to Gooch, forwards to Ahmad.
I can see this being like the Millwall game.
Plays it back to Ballard. Ballard. Then back to Patterson again, and then out to O'Nien on this left hand side. Then to Elise. Back to Patterson, across to Ballard. In the final 5 minutes of the first half, Ahmad leaves it for Gooch on the touchline. Forwards again to Embleton wide on the right, and Embleton cutting inside again now, just in the Hull half, looking for Elise. Brings it down neatly and inside to Clark. Clark now 25 yards out on the left-hand side. He's trying to shake off Woods and then plays it out to Elise on the left. Elise's ball in, crashes off the back of Smith, and then picked up on the touchline by Clark, who plays it back.
Do you reckon we'll come out in the second half like we did against Millwall in this game?
I still think we can do these. We just need that final ball, that final pass,
that final touch.
The final touch.
Yeah. It's a throw to Hull.
No, it's not. It's a throw to Sunderland.
And the assistant's been
I've
overruled.
heard they've got one at worst defences of Hull.
And it is a Sunderland throw.
Hey?
I don't know what the
someone said.
was doing.
I've heard someone said that Hull have got the worst defence, or one of them.
So Gooch with his
have they?
Sunderland in the 42nd minute, halfway almost inside the Hull half. He goes back into his own half to Ballard on the right, and Ballard across the pitch to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien just short up to Embleton on the centre spot, out to the left to Neil, who slips as
sloppy
he
passing
forwards to Clark, and it's a throw to Hull City, which Coyle will take. Goes back to Christie down the line, and back again to Ingram, the goalkeeper. Short pass in the D to McLaughlin, then to Greaves. In the corner of the penalty area on the left and back again to McLaughlin.
Did you know Corey Evans used to play for Hull City?
Out to Christie, who's closed down by
Oh,
Clark,
did he?
but he gets it forwards to
Yeah,
Coyle,
someone posted a few hours, an hour ago. It's a Sunderland account called Wise Men Say at SCFC, and it's a picture of Corey in a Hull City shirt. So
gets it back, and Ahmad's going to shoot.
He had a loan spell in 2011.
Sorry about that. We had a shot on goal then. Ahmad shot in at just yard offside. Yard off.
Yeah. Corey was at Hull on a loan spell during 2011. Following a permanent stint between 2011 and 2013. So.
As we creep towards
good player.
Half-time.
I think the lads are going to be happy with if it does stay 0-0 at half-time.
Yeah, not let their edge drop.
They've not looked a threat, Hull. We haven't either, but the fact the opposition haven't, I'm not complaining with that.
Yeah.
The far side to clear up to the halfway line.
We can't complain too much, can we? Because Hull haven't done much either.
Seri now inside to Woods, just behind the centre circle, out wide to Coyle. Coyle cut back inside. Embleton in front of him, gets it through to Smith, back to Coyle on this right side, inside to Woods, back towards the halfway line to Christie, and now McLaughlin. It's cut out by Evans. A run for Sims down the right hand side. McLaughlin's going with him and makes the block, and it's gone out for a throw, I think, over on the far side of the corner. Lyndon Gooch is not happy about something. He flung his arm at the assistant, but it's a throw to Sunderland. Gooch going down to take this. So now
it's a corner. I tell you what, he needs to go to Specsavers.
What the fuck? That's twice the linesman's been overruled.
That's what Gooch was furious about.
Oh my God.
The referee has overruled the assistant again, and it is a corner.
I think he needs to taxi home that assistant with the flag there.
Gooch.
All he's got to do is wave his flag. If the ball goes out, he can't even do that.
Now from the right-hand side, Embleton to take the corner kick. It's played short to Ahmad, back to Embleton on his left, and he taps it back here to the back of the area. It's just curled in by Dan Neil and headed over.
Better cross. That's what we need. Whipped low crosses. Yeah. Get them in with speed, not this hanging in the ball for eternity, and the keeper can just pick his spot and say thank you.
Crosses. It comes off the back of Coyle. It's bounced out for another corner to Sunderland.
This sounds quite boring as well, this first half. It's nothing much in the game between either side.
Surely it's a corner.
Third corner on the trot. Sunderland yet to score from a corner this season.
Well, 2 minutes added on now. We're into those 2 minutes. Can Sunderland score now from this corner on the left from Embleton that swings to the back of the area now? O'Neill was being pulled back by Longman, but nothing from the referee. Ahmad's trying to get onto this, but Seri's beaten it into it, and Ahmad's now on the back of Seri, who plays it inside to McLaughlin to clear, up to Gooch, flicks it on to Neil. Neil out behind Ahmad. He's done well to stretch and keep it in. Back to Gooch, and he's given it away, and Woods trying to come away with it, looking for the run of Slater through the middle, through the legs of Ballard, out to the left-hand side here. And now Hull in the penalty area on the left side, looking for Coyle, but it's played over the top of him and away here on the right wing.
Once again, Sunderland's corner wasn't good enough, and they've come straight on the attack hole. It's too high and slow.
To Embleton, and then trying to get it up.
Better not get a goal now, Hull.
It's too far ahead of him, and it's back with Hull and Seri in the centre circle to Christie.
I kind of see where either goal's going to come from, to be honest with you, from both clubs.
Over on the far side, Longman trying to come in past Gooch, onto his right foot, low shot, blocked by Ballard. Great block. It's left him flat on his back. His head hurts, and the referee's come back to check and see how he is.
Good block with his head, that mind.
Terrific smash, and Ballard right behind him.
Hey, do you remember when we played Hull City at the Stadium of Light and power went off?
Didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we weren't David Moyes were manager, and everyone got the phones out and that.
Yeah, they did, aye.
It's back up on
like
his
a bloody concert.
He played a minute of the
the power went off.
Possibly the 2.
3-0 we won.
That's right, yeah.
Referee is going to be a drop ball.
That's the season. I think we'd like to forget that. David
taps it down the line again. You've got to stop the cross. Got to stop the cross. Here's the cross. You've got to stop the cross. Trying to get on the end of it with O'Nien on his shoulder. Calls from the whole fans for a penalty as Estupiñán went down. Absolutely nothing.
I feel like we've
penalty,
you know, that's what we're talking about. We've seen it on Monday night.
Have they just been awarded a penalty?
No.
Trying to stop the cross.
Estupiñán waiting to get
But
on
there's
the
nobody.
There's
the half-time whistle.
Bristol 1 and Stoke 1. So 0-0 at the break.
0-0.
Dale, that is a massive point, Dale. What are they doing training? It's like, surely they must be able to put crosses into the box. The last 3 corners I've just seen there, like, see high, hanging, slow. It's like, get the fuckers whipped in. Get them in quick. The ball can bounce off anybody. It can go anywhere.
I mean, Hull predominantly playing it around at the back, and the goalkeeper is walking a tightrope at the back with the way he plays it out from
Hull City players are demonstrating to the referee that was a penalty. It weren't a penalty, nowhere near.
Half chances over the bar or just past the post. But at the break, it remains goalless. We'll have the full second half, of course, on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. But at the interval, it is Hull City 0, Sunderland 0.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Goalless then at half-time. We will be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for full commentary of the second half. Very short.
Yeah, we'll just mute.
In the Championship, first of all, then, well, let's do the World Cup game first. It's the third, fourth place between Croatia and Morocco. It's been a cracking first half, actually. Croatia leads Morocco 2-1 at half.
Croatia's leading.
Got Croatia's opener after 7 minutes.
2-1 Croatia now.
It is indeed. I would usually watch it, but I'm really not asked.
No, it's not a game that's worth really.
No.
Much as it is, who's going to be third, who's going to be fourth, innit?
I love that, what Dale says. What the fuck do they do with training? It does make you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, while we're going to work, they spend hours and hours on the training ground putting these crosses in, doing these moves and stuff in it. It just doesn't seem to be evident on the pitch what that they are doing that in training.
Well, there's a clip of Sunderland players having snowball fights on Thursday.
Oh, they'll be good at that.
Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC.
Not the best the first half, but let's hope we can come out in second and do what we did against like Millwall and
I know. We've got some of the comments online. Neil Roberts on for Embo, definitely. That's absolutely shite, said somebody. Stewart for Embleton is a must. That linesman is absolutely brutal. And people will say I'm mourning, why is Gooch 5 yards off Longman when Hull played the ball to him? He's never got a tackle on him yet. And let 3 good crosses come in. And this is what Gary Bennett mentioned before against West Brom game. It's like we were allowing them to cross the ball.
Yeah, I think let's give Stewart a chance now. You know,
absolutely.
See what happens. Is there anyone else you'd bring on, or is it just Stewart? Do you think?
Well, the way the game's going, we don't look in trouble defensively. I just think we'll need to have a bit more spark going forward.
Yeah.
I would take Clark off and put Stewart on up front with Sims.
Yeah.
And I would swap Embleton. Possibly fetch maybe Bennett, give him a run out.
Yeah. Probably do more and less the same, to be honest, if I were manager or coach.
Oh, Anth's just messaged us on Discord. Hold on, what's he saying? Oh, ask him yourself, man, Anth. Stupid get. Can you ask Jay? Can you know? Does he know who the press manager is? I mean, for God's sake, can he not enjoy his holiday? Eh?
He's on his way home though, isn't he?
Oh, sick of hearing that. I think he is, yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Dale Boyd says, I bet you he takes Sims off. The wrong person to take off. And I'm just going to get a cup of tea, Jacob, back and 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
No worries.
Automatic spinning doors. I've been stuck in revolving doors before for days. There's times when I thought it was like Bear Grylls. I thought I was going to have to start sleeping inside a cow or something.
The sound of the Northeast at breakfast. BBC Radio Newcastle, making a difference in the Northeast.
Goalless at a half-time between Hull and Sunderland. Back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for full commentary of the second half very shortly. It's actually the middle of our 3 commentaries on BBC Radio Newcastle today. Later on, and we'll come to this more prominently in just a couple of minutes, but Newcastle Falcons are taking on Cardiff at Kingston Park in the European Challenge Cup. That one will be live on the BBC Sport website and the BBC Sport app. But earlier on today, our first commentary was at St James's Park, with Newcastle United winning 2-1 against the Spanish side Rayo Vallecano in a friendly. They get back to competitive action against Bournemouth in the League Cup on Tuesday night. But today, Sean Longstaff and Chris Wood were the goal scorers. It was a Matt Targett own goal that halved the deficit towards the end. But afterwards, Newcastle United's head coach had a chat with our Newcastle United commentator, Matthew Racebeck.
It was very useful. I thought it was a really good workout for us. Tough game. Vallecano have had a very good season. Very good team, very well managed and coached. So we knew today was going to be tough, but I thought, especially first half, I thought we were very good at times and pleased to win.
Was it something about the way that Rayo Vallecano play that meant that they were suitable opponents for you and gave you a particular type of test and challenge?
Yeah, I think that we always look at our opponents. You know, we don't just put games on for the sake of it. There's always a reason. For me, they're a very good high-pressing team. So the game was always going to be a fast-paced game, and I think they're the ones you want. The friendlies that are slow and they're not going to get us ready for the Premier League. So although they're a La Liga team, they play very much in the form of a Premier League team.
Your starting 11 today was strong and contained senior players. The bench, apart from the goalkeeper, was all under 21s, and there were a lot of big names missing today. So can you tell us why your squad looked the way it did and why those players who didn't feature weren't with you?
Well, we're just trying to manage their game time to make sure that everyone's fit and ready to play for Tuesday. So, of course, if we'd filled our bench with senior players, they wouldn't have had the minutes that we needed. So we've worked them hard elsewhere. So hopefully the whole squad will be ready for when we need them.
How nice was it to be able to give 3 academy players the chance to play for the first team at St James's Park? I know 5 of them came on in Saudi Arabia, but with a bench full of young players, some of them got their opportunity.
And that's the benefit of doing or planning the game as we did. You give an opportunity to academy players, and this is in part what these games are for as well, is to expose young players to the stadium, to the supporters, to the environment, and see if they can step up and how they adapt to that mentally. 3 players that came on today, I think it was 3, we all like, and yeah, they did very well.
That is Eddie Howe then, the Newcastle United head coach, talking to Matthew Racebeck, our Newcastle United commentator, after today's victory in that friendly. The whole interview, it's a shortened version, the whole interview with Eddie Howe available now on BBC Sounds, and you can find it as well on the BBC Newcastle Twitter feed. And now coming up at 5:30, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Newcastle Falcons against Cardiff in the second round of European Challenge Cup pool matches. The Falcons were beaten 22-8 by Connacht in Ireland last weekend. Matches. Here is the Falcons head coach, Dave.
Oh dear.
Welcome back, DJ.
Hi.
You know, they've got an international back row. They move the ball really well, so they're good to watch, but hopefully not too good on Saturday night.
It's a strange sort of first half, that.
Yeah. Let's hope we come back out, you know, like a bit like the Millwall game. That's what I want.
I know.
But yeah, I think this season's just like we're a team of game of 2 halves. Us.
Let's go have a look on the league table standings at the moment. We are currently 12th on 31 points, level with Middlesbrough. Wigan have got a game in hand of us. They're third off bottom on 24 points.
I got Borough lose today.
It's just such an predictable league, isn't it?
Yeah.
Loads of games postponed in the lower leagues, like Division 2 and stuff, and Division
League
1.
1 and 2. Just glad. I'm still glad we're not associated with League 1.
Oh, you know, diabolical, isn't it?
Oh. Referees, especially in that league, were absolute shite.
Somebody else saying about the half-time scores. Seems clueless going forward without Pritchard on the team. That's what's worrying, because there's been times he's not been great either. Someone tell him it's not walking football.
I think DJ will be good at that.
Telling you.
I wonder who the Hull manager is. Can't remember his name.
The Hull manager?
Yeah.
I've no idea. Anybody in the chat know who the Hull manager is? If you're looking.
I know Grant McCann managed him, but I'm not sure if he's still there. Mind you, I'm still trying to figure out who the Preston manager is, but I've not. No one's told me yet, but.
What are you doing tonight then, Jacob? You doing much?
No, I know. My mum and dad are going out with some friends, but I think I'll be stopping in. So I might try and watch a movie on TV or something. You got any plans for tonight?
Just might put some Christmas films on. I'm getting into the mood of Christmas films and stuff. Trains, Planes and Automobiles, Christmas Vacation, National Lampoons, and I like watching good old Home Alone. Still makes us laugh.
Yeah. 1 and 2 are the best. The others are crap.
Oh, yeah. The others are just a waste of time. Yeah, someone's just commented saying, is it me or does the Hull City pitch look absolutely huge? I think it's just the angle.
Not as big as our ground.
No.
I swear they have a rugby team as well, the Hull.
They do. Hull Kingston Rovers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you confident in the second half?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, I'm sure we can get back out and put in a better performance.
Back in a second. I'm just going to finish getting my tea off. 2 seconds.
No problem.
Well, here we go. The Sunderland are first back on the pitch again.
So we can put a better performance in now.
Simply has to.
Ballard. On the bench, Bass, Stewart, Sirkin, Roberts, Barr and Bennett. And for Hull City, it's Ingram in goal, Coyle at right back, Christie, McLaughlin
Have
and
brought
Griggs.
anyone on yet? Or has it just kept the squad same as first half?
Just have a look. Dale Boyce just says need to start drinking. Our players remember 1973, never far away from a bottle.
I don't think they switch over, do they? I think he's still over there. He was poor.
We can still cheer about beating Wickham at Wembley, though, can't we?
Your most probably doesn't know what colour it is.
Well, it's Mr. Lewis or Mr. Liddle. Take your pick. Lewis or Liddle. Sounds like a firm of solicitors, doesn't it? Lewis and Liddle. The game underway. Estupinan gets it underway for us.
To who? Who's got the ball? Surrey.
No, stop it. Ingram. I've given you the back four already, haven't I? I'm all over the place now. Woods and Jean Seri. That might underway for the place now. Woods and 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 Jean Seri. That might solve the problem. For the place now. Woods and Jean.
Oh, she'd stop starting to rap.
That might solve the problem.
What's going on?
Slater, Smith, Longman and Estupinan for Hull, who are
What's going on with players now? Is it
offside? As they try and get down the left side of Sunderland's penalty area. Hull defending the goal to our right now. Sunderland away to our left, but Jean has won it back. He gets it to Longman, and Longman now crosses, and it's flicked away by Elise, hooked away again by Embleton, but Hull come again, and Embleton blocks the cross from Coyle. It's a throw to Hull on the far side. Around that corner, around the sweep of that corner, are where the Sunderland fans are housed this afternoon, around 2,500 of them, in a crowd of 18,120.
Thanks for the 10 thumbs up there, thank you. Anybody new to the channel, just hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
thumbs up? It doesn't cost a penny.
Doesn't cost a penny. Not even direct debit.
Flickering on now of office blocks and houses.
I always remember when Storm Middleton used to say that.
Chimneys or anything to break
winds
it
you up, doesn't it?
But now we're in darkness around the ground. It's 0-0.
He has a funny laugh though, this
second minute of the second half.
Yeah, he's a queer bugger.
Here is McLaughlin.
Seemed like a nice fella.
Looking for the run of Longman, cut out by Gooch.
Seemed like a nice guy though, doesn't he, Middleton?
Oh, he does. He's not up his own arse, not like some folk.
And Regan Slater plays it out to Longman. Burnley nil.
Yeah, it's like SAFC fan TV. He's not really alive, is it now?
Burnley nil, Middlesbrough 1.
Beaten to it by the foot of O'Nien. Out to Clark. He's pushed back by Woods and played back to Patterson.
Sund, of course.
Patterson clears the head of the Colombian up to the halfway line. Sims trying to head it on, and it will drop on the far side
now?
For Coyle to play back for Matt
Enjoy the bass, son.
Just outside his penalty area. Out wide his kick. Blocked by Elise, looking for Clark, but Woods has won it back. And now Coyle again, under pressure from Embleton. He gets the ball through here to Slater, and out to Longman on the left wing. Longman taking on Gooch, rolling it into the penalty area for Slater. Oh, now he's gone down, and it's a penalty.
How the hell?
The referee, no hesitation.
Yeah. I think Ballard knows himself as well. You can see by his
reaction. Down, he's walked away, but Ballard slid in. And
yeah, that was a penalty. Bad tackle by Ballard. That like.
In the 48th minute.
They've all got a penalty now.
To Hull City.
What did we say, Nick?
A mistake.
Mistake.
Oh.
I remember those good old days. Players don't seem to fight hard.
Could be another miserable day for Sunderland.
So, a chance, an opportunity for Estupinan, Hull's leading scorer, to give Hull the lead here in the 49th minute with this penalty kick. Patterson stands big, bounces on the line. Estupinan not quite to the back of the penalty area. The referee ushering players out.
Come on.
And the Colombian poised to take the kick. Referee is.
Oh, he's missed it!
What, Harry Kane's miss?
He's more. That's a terrible penalty. He thought Harry Kane's was bad. Oh my God!
Has blasted the penalty kick.
It might go past Am's plane, you know, when he's on his way home. Might go past there.
It was a poor free kick, wasn't it?
Through a penalty, Gary.
I've got to say, penalty.
If that's the jet, if that isn't a get out of jail card.
It's 0-0 still.
Oh my God!
It might fly past Am's plane, you know that ball.
Swansea 0. But what an opportunity that was for Hull City.
What a
And it's a
relief.
wake-up call for Sunderland.
Yeah.
That is a wake-up call.
So that sparks.
I mean, how would you feel if it ends up 0-0 though? Wouldn't you be a bit pissed off though?
Yeah.
The goal. And now Sims down the right
Should be
to the
beaten
corner,
forward, to be honest,
tries to get his cross in, headed down to Neil, tries to get it back in, but it's cleared.
I don't bloody know.
Back for Ballard to play to.
Been going to the school of penalty taking from Harry Kane there. This should fire Sunderland up, this, you know.
To O'Nien.
Yeah, should
Give
say the lads will be thinking, right,
it's just whipped off him, and it will
no
go
pissing around
back
now.
behind for a goal kick.
It's a wake-up call.
So 0-0 in the second half here after.
Let's do what we did against Millwall in the
Hull
second half.
City miss a penalty.
Come on, I don't want to settle for a draw against Hull
Ingram
City.
takes a short kick to his right, swept up, looking for Tyler Smith. Played back though to Patterson. Estupinan goes to close him down, but he's whipped it away.
Sunderland need to drop a gear.
Had to be quick. Comes back.
Get
to
Ross on for fuck's
Sean
sake, says
McLaughlin.
Dale. Absolutely.
Into the centre circle to Ryan Woods.
I think
Back
Stewart
to
and Bennett should come on.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Christie overhits his pass. Not quite sure who he was trying to pick out, Smith or Coyle. It was
So Mobile wait until the
strongly overhit.
87th
Back
minute to fetch
Patterson.
him on.
And then out in midfield to O'Nien and Neil.
Oh,
Back to
no,
O'Nien.
it should be.
Out on the far
What
side.
minute is it now?
To Elise.
Usually it's
Back
65th
again
minute or something when they do
to
sub.
O'Nien. Gooch wants it wide here on the right. They're trying to pick him out here now, O'Nien. And Sims, though, is beaten to it by McLaughlin. There's a handball by Embleton and a free kick to Hull. Jean Serry got it forwards quickly. And so on the right-hand side again. And back it comes to Jean. And out wide on the left-hand side to Longman. And Longman on the left swings across in, punched away by Patterson. Out to Jean Serry, who plays it inside to Ryan Woods, and now Slater. And then wide again on the right. It's swept in by Coyle, but to Patterson. Martin Emerson, our cricket commentator, says he remembers Jimmy Bullard missing a penalty against Sunderland around 2010. He feels sure that Hull went down that
This
day
club
as
drives
well.
you nuts. It's drove us nuts for the last 40 years.
My memory doesn't stretch back that far. No.
Some of the Sunderland fans are saying that wasn't a
we've got to
penalty. I
pick
don't know what planet they're on. That was a
You've
stone
got to say
waller.
that,
Absolute stone waller.
Hull have started his second half much better than Sunderland.
We never
Well, they have,
underestimate
and by rights, I
foot things
suppose
that
you would
do
argue they
sometimes,
should be
so.
one up with a penalty kick, but they put that wide. It's 0-0. It's a wake-up call for Sunderland. A throw here on the right-hand side.
I never cheer a penalty, me. I only
0-0.
cheer when they score it.
And Gooch comes down to take this.
Yeah, you've got Stewart and Roberts
Yeah,
on the bench.
Yeah, well, they're warming up.
it feels awful, doesn't it, when you miss a penalty, but when you get the penalty.
I just don't know why the fans go crazy when they celebrate a penalty.
Longman tackled.
So you don't know that it's going to go well, do you?
Trying to
You don't know
flick
if
it
he's
through.
going to
It
score
looked as though
or
he came
not.
off a hand, but it's now come out through. On the
60
left.
for you, Dale. You bet.
He's burst over the halfway line.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
I know,
then
I'll
a good
admit I
tackle
cheered
by
when
Ballard.
Kane got both his
Good
penalties.
challenge, or it's Christie who made the break. A good challenge on Christie. Throw to Hull. Huddersfield 0, Watford.
Probably still on its
1.
way, that ball, Harry Kane's penalty.
Huddersfield look as though they're going to go into Boxing Day marooned at the foot of the table. They would be even with a win, I think, because West Brom, I think, are 4 points ahead of them. Bristol City 1, Stoke City 2 now, and here's Ingram at the back, the goalkeeper for Hull City in his light grey jersey. darker grey shorts, gets it out to Ryan Woods, now forwards to the Ivory Coast midfielder Jean Seri, and back to Woods, and inside again to the Ivorian. Shall we call him that?
A lot of people slagging Elliot Embleton off this match.
As long as you don't call him Seri.
How's he been doing Embleton this
Now there's all havoc's broken loose again on.
It's just like a lot of people are just calling him a one-trick pony at the minute.
Forwards by Ingram. Elise leaps up and gets away.
Sunderland player gone down and he's smashing his hand on the floor. The Sunderland player.
He's challenge for the ball. And referee.
And they both seem to be in
Who's
some
been
pain.
fouled? Is it?
Elise's clapped on his back as well. But Embleton's gone down. He doesn't. He's been slapping the floor with his right hand. I think then they're all calling now for assistance for Embleton. Didn't look good.
Assistance coming on from both players.
The ball's there to be challenged for.
It's weird, Dale. Today, it's like
face on.
It's like we're playing and we're stuck in first gear.
What is the referee thinking about?
Both getting treatment now, the two players.
It might be a 0-0 today.
But immediately it didn't look good.
I don't know what the Hull City fans are shouting off for. I didn't really see what happened there.
3-4 players around him from both teams.
He's having a stern talking to Ballard at the minute.
Roberts is going to come on, I think, and maybe Sirkin.
We're in the 56th minute in a minute. The referee standing back from the two players that are being treated.
It's going to be interesting what he's going to do here, referee.
Still seems like it's same as first half, nothing.
What the impact of that collision, shall we call it a collision for the moment, was. Because it was a ball that both went for. I'm not sure if you saw it more clearly than I, but they're calling for a stretcher for Embleton. This isn't looking good. It's Preston 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Embleton still flat out. His knee up, but as soon as he hit the floor, he was in pain. He could see there was a problem.
Augustino.
And he's the player still receiving treatment.
Hello, Augustino put out a penalty. Well, unless you're 3 hours ahead of me, I don't see any penalty anywhere.
Readying 3 substitutions down below us here.
No, it was 50-50, 2 players coming together.
And
we could get a Sunderland late goal, to be fair, couldn't we? Like a 1-0.
There's more.
Well, there's going to be at least 4 minutes added on at this, if not more.
Not only the stretcher, but some very other bags and paraphernalia to go with it. And Embleton's still lying on his back with his left knee in the air, but the referee again still standing aside.
Oh man!
In the 58th minute now,
13th minute, Sunderland.
Injury to Elliot Embleton, but now then on the back of that, waiting for the consequences of what the referee deemed to have happened.
He's got a common.
Burnley 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Common sense, Nick.
As you say, it was a ball that both players were quite legitimate in going for.
Oh, goal, 1-1 Burnley.
Yeah, I know.
Burnley v.
In front of the dugout.
It's still saying 1-0 to Borough on mine.
Corey Evans over on the touchline as well.
Yeah, it is 1-1.
This is a prolonged stoppage. Can only hope that Elliot Embleton's okay.
No, I think Burnley are still going up. No doubt about that.
Oh, of course they are.
It's hard to say because there's
too good.
People around him, but they've lifted him up and onto the stretcher, I think.
I don't understand.
Sitting up on his
when I looked at it, it didn't seem as if it was such a rash challenge. Unless he's
card for Sunderland.
Eh?
No, it looks as
my phone's just come up saying a red card for Sunderland.
What's the referee going to do?
Well, the referee.
59th minute.
He's off.
Jack Clark speaking to him, one of the players speaking to him over there.
Red card.
It's not another penalty for Hull, is it? Jesus.
He sent him off.
So he's sent off on a stretcher.
How the fuck?
Well,
that is a strange one. I would have to see that again.
I would too. I find that is
no way, that's a red card.
I couldn't call that as a sending off. Nobody in this stadium say it was a sending off.
Have they been awarded another penalty
I
as well, or is it just
red,
free kick?
But that,
I don't know.
And you hear the response.
You're fit, the referee says, of Sunderland fans.
Carried off here, having been sent off. But Sunderland down to 10, about to make a triple substitution as well.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
It's all happening.
It's going to get me 4 on record. See if
2, Rotherham 0. So Sirkin is coming.
That wasn't a fucking sending off, that, like.
Elise, I assume, because you can't really read the numbers.
Never amongst the Sunders.
Yeah, it's Elise who's coming off.
If it were a Hull City player, it'd probably be not a booking or a yellow.
Hello, Tan.
The next substitution. I think I'm hearing people saying we really want to see that back. I think, yeah, we do, because I think, as you said, and you instinctively felt it was.
What did I say to you? Bring fucking Stewart on when we're chasing the game. I know it's 0-0, but we're a man down.
Stewart and Roberts will come up, or maybe Clark or Ahmed.
Probably wouldn't. At the minute, the most boring game of the season. Nothing in it.
I think it's Clark coming off here now. Is the final change. Sunderland with 10 men now. Half an hour or more to play. It's 0-0 still, but Embleton sent off in a.
That was never a fucking penalty in amongst the Sunders, that.
Carried off on a stretcher after
being injured as a
consequence of the challenge. And the game resumes. Ball played out to Longman on the left-hand side, heads it back to Greaves and to.
We've been playing with 10 men with Embleton on anyway, got he's off.
Again, tries to get it back to the Ivorian, who plays it into the middle with Ryan Woods. And back then to Sean Lachlan. Christie wide to Coyle.
Patrick Roberts is coming on.
Sirkin. Woods drives it forwards past Dan, nearly made a challenge. And it's out for a throw to Hull on the far side. Now with Christie, McLaughlin,
put Stewart on.
Greaves, and out on the left, Longman ahead of him. And then back again to Greaves on this left-hand side. And then swept forwards by Woods down the right of the Sunderland penalty area. Ahmad tries to just put pressure on. Back into the centre, the Ivorian to Greaves. Greaves now to
Sims
Longman on the left of the penalty area. Swings in
Stewart's
across.
on.
And it's headed
Coming on.
away behind for a corner.
You might make a change.
Well, you got to think today it'll be a good result today.
63rd minute.
Yeah, especially 10 men
Woods
now.
goes down to take the corner on the right for Hull City. Sunderland, remember, are playing with 10 men now. But Ross Stewart is on.
Never do it the
we've
easy way, do
seen
we?
him so many times from corner kicks, acting as a centre half. Clearly,
That'll get reimbursed, that red card.
Will he do the same?
There's no way that was a red card at all.
And Stewart is the player
no way at all was that a red card.
For Coyle in the middle, drives in a low shot, which is well wide.
Some of these referees need to be investigated.
So goal kick to Sunderland.
Some of them are just corrupt.
63 minutes, 63rd minute we're in now. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. Embleton sent off, carried off in the 59th minute. Well, Cardiff
He needs to take it easy there, Stuart, because he doesn't want to end up injured again, does he?
Free kick to Sunderland, the foul on Ross Stewart.
I mean, they miss a penalty and we get a man sent off. It's like, how many more chances to fucking Hull want? It's like the referees want Hull to freaking do it.
I guess
he might have a Hull City shirt underneath his referee shirt.
The red card is upheld against Embleton. It'll be 3 matches, won't it? Because it'll be seen as violent conduct. As the ball's played up towards Stewart, came down off him, but he couldn't really control it, and Hull get it away. Up up
Do you
to
think
the
it really makes a
halfway
massive
line.
difference when there's you got a one player advantage?
And on the halfway line, Jean Serry.
Is that
gives
like
the
when you're
ball
10 men
away,
down, like
cleared
for
by
the other
Gooch,
team?
it's a
Do you
throw.
mean?
You just one man to
On the
an
right,
advantage.
came
You've
off
got
a
one man
whole
less, so
player
the others really make
for
an advantage.
Sunderland.
Yeah.
And
There's some teams who've been down to 10 men but still won the game. So
Gooch on halfway on the right hand side
you can,
with this throw.
so long
for
as you take
Sunderland.
advantage,
0-0
say like if the opposition
playing
team's got a red
with
card, you just need to take advantage of that.
10 men. Various debates as to whether
27
it was a red
watching in the
card or
chat.
not.
Thanks if you can click the thumbs up and give us a subscribe. Thanks. It doesn't cost any
I
money
don't know
at
if
all.
you can see this. Benno, we've been sent the video.
I'm going to have a look at it.
So it's completely free.
See if you can interpret whether it was, in your mind, a red card as a throw for Sunderland.
As soon as VAR in the Championship, the fucking better.
And
the less we
the
get
answer
screwed.
to
These pissants
no,
referees.
I don't think so. So if there's an appeal, it'd be interesting to see what the verdict is. Throw
Well, we
from
know the
Gooch
referees
down
hate us for a
line,
start,
looking for
don't they?
Ahmad, another throw to Sunderland.
Don't know what it
CM68
is, just
solution to the Jean
just be
Serry
jealous of our
problem
history.
is to just call him Serry, listen to Radio Newcastle. That way we eliminate you losing the signal. Greaves at the back to the goalkeeper on the line, on the goal line. Ingram manages to get the ball clear, and the debate on social media appears to suggest it does look harsh. Looks like he jumped into the player, but not a red card.
This referee's
offence.
probably found he's
So
got a
Burnley
referee
2,
job in
Middlesbrough
a lucky
1.
day.
Thank you all for that. I've had another message from Hatmancock, who says no red card. So that seems to be the consensus. Sunderland look to break down the left wing.
That's
with
a foul.
Dan Neal. Neal plays the ball back in after what looked like a foul. And
We've got no fucking
Sunderland
backbone
with
going
Roberts
forward, like.
now trying to find an opening, but the ball comes back harmlessly to Matt
I mean, I
Ingram,
can
though
say
Roberts
it's probably going to be a
stood in
0-0,
front of him,
but
trying to put him off, and the ball cleared out to the left to Greaves, inside and swept across then to the right wing to Coyle. Coyle keeps it in for Hull, down the right side of the penalty area, and then drives it across the penalty area, across the 6-yard box, over the head of Smith, who's furious, couldn't get on the end of it, and it's a throw.
Yeah, Ahmed's got to do that defensive side.
0-0 still then, and
I think they might bring on Bennett or Barr or someone just to do that left-hand side at the present. He's all right going forward, but we're wide open.
67th minute. There'll be a fair amount of time to add on at the end of the game, and for that Elliot Embleton incident, we call it, and the ball drops out for a throw here to Hull in the corner on the left, deep in their half.
Yeah,
nothing in the game. It's still just
Bennett to put on, there.
They've got another opportunity to make a substitution. As you say, Barr or Bennett as an outlet to get the ball clear. Greaves with the throw then for Hull City. Jacob Greaves on this left-hand side, headed away by Ballard. Gooch trying to nudge it past Greaves, but nudges it out for another throw to Hull City. And here's Seri on BBC Radio Newcastle, back into the penalty area to Christie. Gets it back again, the Ivorian, and back to Matt Ingram, to Sean Loughlin, who's closed down by Evans, but manages to pass it out through the middle, up towards the halfway line, and Tyler Smith, and then back behind him to Cyrus Christie. Christie coming up to halfway, plays it behind him to Woods, and then to Seri on BBC Radio Newcastle. Across on the left-hand side to Longman. Longman pushes it back behind him and gets the ball
You
back
get flack
again
Tony
for
Mowbray
Greaves.
if he loses this, like.
For Slater at the edge of the penalty area, but Sunderland get the ball clear. Back to McLaughlin, deep in his own half, and he pushes it on up to the halfway line to the Ivorian. Plays it through to Woods. And Woods looking up for the run of Coyle, but he's on that far side got Ahmad over there to contend with. Ahmad is playing in a defensive role now. Burnley 3, Middlesbrough 1. Seeing another side to Ahmad, aren't we, in this?
Fucking hell, Burnley 3, Middlesbrough 1. They were leading at one point.
Wide on
Burnley are winning now.
3-1.
So far on that he's playing
Smoggy
like an
bastards.
out-and-out winger.
Yeah.
Well, that can benefit us because Middlesbrough were above us, weren't they? And
Christie.
we're near,
I think so, yeah.
Now we're back to 12, yeah.
Really, isn't he, Ahmad? That's the baton he's taken up.
Swansea are below us as well.
Christie looking to get forwards again. Ahmad has to try and get.
Burnley are just
Woods on that
good
far
team,
side.
aren't they?
He's got it on the
Yeah.
touchline. Just taps it back to.
I think
Coyle,
Burnley,
back to
Blackburn,
Christie.
Sheffield, so they're going up.
Stewart closes him down, and then Christie gets the ball and crosses it.
Who do you think's going up then, DJ? If you have to
Through
say.
the penalty area behind for
I still think Burnley, Burnley, West Brom get the automatic promotion.
You know, so we've just got to be patient.
They've got a lot to do though, West Brom, because they're 16, can't they? But
Well, they've won the last 5 on the bounce. Carry on the way they're going, they'll soon do it. Some go on that, win 5 on the trot, you know.
Change.
yeah. Do you think our home form though is going to get better during the season, or do you think it's just going to?
The home side.
I don't think much will get better with Tony Mowbray in charge, but I get slated for saying that on social media. Never wanted him even in the first place. I don't like his way to play. I think he's a negative manager.
Impossible to read.
To me, he's just a little bit of a step up from Parky.
Yeah.
Hull's first change.
I mean, we could be the Huddersfield fans, DJ. That's
Sunderland having to play with 10.
Oh, it could be.
Embleton was injured. He was carried off on a stretcher, but he was sent off.
they're losing to Watford 1-0, so
an instant which
they're not losing by a lot though.
just about everybody we've heard from feels was not.
Camila Costa says penalty. No.
So here's the goal kick from Patterson. The ball hooked away by Ballard.
Same as first half.
Jean
Seemed like it's just
Seri
same as the
here on
first half.
BBC Radio
Nothing in it.
Newcastle. Back from Greaves to McLaughlin. We're in the 72nd minute. It's still 0-0. Here's the Ivorian out to Greaves again on this left-hand side. And then Jean plays it to Cyrus. And Cyrus Christie on halfway through to Estupinan, who missed a penalty in the early stages of the second half. And now Longman swings in across to Estupinan, who heads it over. 09 on his shoulder, lovely cross, but the Colombians headed it over the bar.
Yeah, excellent ball in.
Coventry 3, Swansea 2. So 0-0 still here at Hull City. West Bromwich Albion 3, Rotherham 0.
At least there's something to laugh about. Middlesbrough losing, so.
You know.
You know, we've seen them tonight in the second half. You could see.
So we're not the only team that bottled it to Burnley. Middlesbrough have as well, so.
Good side, Burnley, mate. Really good side.
Trying to find
Yeah.
Ross Stewart, but Hull
They've
get
still
the
got
ball
some Premier League
clear.
players, haven't they? So.
Yeah.
Bounces out here on the near side, the Sunderland right.
Vincent
Ballard's
Company's
gonna lead
doing
the
well
throw
for them, so.
Lyndon Gooch. He's got Evans, he's got Ballard behind him, he's got Roberts down the line. Roberts has peeled away, it's gone to Evans, back to Gooch. Gooch then through to Roberts on the halfway line. Stewart just behind him, looking for the run of Ahmad. Cut out though by Coyle. Back to Ingram. Taps it out to Christie.
Who's going down then, DJ, from the Championship?
Woods now
Who
in
do
the
you think
middle.
will go down?
Blackpool,
Coyle on the far side, and
Huddersfield.
Ahmad's managed to head it over it
Yeah.
behind. Are out for a throw.
I think
to Hull
Huddersfield will
City
remain bottom.
on the right hand side.
Second bottom. Oh, maybe.
So,
Did you say
0-0
Rotherham? Oh,
is
go, Stewart!
Jean
Brilliant!
to Christie. Back to
Just said on my phone.
Jean. And across on this left hand side then to
Oh.
Greaves. Inside
I know
again.
something.
Fucking
to
hell.
John. He's been
Go
on,
on,
the
son,
ball
you're
a
right
lot,
and all.
actually,
Yeah,
probably.
he's just
It's
the play for him all the time.
Was it a good goal?
everything, as you say, it's like Evans. Everything goes
Uh-huh.
through him. And he's come back now to McLaughlin.
Get
out
in
wide
there.
on the left to Longman. Inside.
Something's actually happened with that.
Fouls it nose, says the referee. Ballard's
Get in, Stuart.
Was not a foul on
Get in.
Tufan. It's come up to Stuart at the other end, who rolls.
I should have said to you, DJ, watch. Listen, keep listening out for a goal.
On his return, on his knees to the corner, as Hull look for a free kick. Sunderland go up the other end, and Ross Stewart
He's now walking
rolls
up.
the ball
Now
in
who's
under
it
Ingram,
taking?
and Sunderland take the lead in the 75th minute.
What composure that was, because everyone
That puts us
expected
now
him
to
to lob the
8th
keeper.
now.
But I tell you, how calm was he to slot that ball in? Excellent.
Lovely finish from Stewart.
And that's what we've missed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Stewart then his 6th goal of the season. A breakaway.
I like cheeky little dink that, like.
Sunderland, the 10 of Sunderland.
Is it
And
like
the
a cheeky
14
tapping?
of Sunderland
rolls it home.
He
totally fooled the keeper, thinking he was going to lob it, and then the keeper jumped and he played it underneath him. Very clever.
Oh, mugged him off.
And suddenly the game
that was clever.
Well,
turned on
we're
its
now
head.
in
They're gonna
8th
make a
now in
change.
the
They're gonna bring
championship, so
on,
we're 8th
Cynic
as it stands.
for Longman, I think.
Borough 14th, Swansea
There's the
13th.
change made.
I don't know if you can see that, let us know.
Coyle, who's coming off actually, which will be a relief to Sunderland. And Cynic comes on for him. But Sunderland in the lead in the final quarter of an hour.
Yeah. Good to have
Hull
Stuart
City
back now,
0,
so.
Sunderland 1. Now, can they hold on to this lead? They're playing with 10 men. They've had to reorganise and reshuffle, but they lead by a goal to 0. Turn up for the books. Ross Stewart writing his own story here.
Oh, mugged him off.
So now,
can you see the goal? Am I holding it at the right angle?
Yeah, I can see it. So he just. Oh, keeper jumps. Does he go like past the keeper, doesn't he?
Come back out to Slater in
It's as if he's going to lob the keeper. The keeper jumps and he just slots it underneath him.
Evans in front of him, taps it back behind him to Woods and back again to McLaughlin, and then here on the left to Greaves. Longman's out on the left, he's got to get wing. It's played into the middle again to Jean, and it's through now on the corner of the penalty area to Cynic.
Right, let's not sit back now. Let's keep at it.
And a cross caught by Patterson.
Well done. Excellent. It's important that Sunderland keep the shape.
Don't take your eyes
totally
off
the keeper.
For fear of something happening, it's one of those afternoons. We've had so much already. A sending off, we've had a missed penalty, we've had Stewart's goal, and here is Stewart flattened, but no free kick, says Gavin Ward, the referee. It's played out to Jean Serry on BBC Radio Newcastle. Out to Longman on the touchline in front of Tony Mowbray. Back into the Ivorian, who plays it through to Woods. Immediately closed down by Stewart, but Woods still has it and plays it to Greaves on this left-hand side. And out to Longman on the left. Longman trying to cut back across away from Roberts. Back to, guess who? Yes, the man who spells his name S-E-R-I. And back it comes now to Christie. Christie on the right-hand side, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Sunderland leading 1-0, playing with 10 men. And now back doing defensive duty, Stewart with Ahmad. And in the end, some good work by Christie actually to deny both. And get the ball back behind him to Cynic, in towards Estupinan. And it bounces down.
Well done.
And cleared over the top for a corner from
the Coventry 3, Swansea 3. That's mad.
It's a corner to Hull City.
They're a funny team,
Woods
Swansea.
then on the right in front of the Sunderland fans. Plenty of players in the box, but it's played short. And now Cynic back to Jean, who's tried to float it in onto the head.
Nice to break the good news there, old Jacob lad.
Again, it's a worry in it. Patterson didn't know to come or go. He's got to command that box, that 6-yard box. That's what he's got to do.
Especially in this final, well, what will probably be 15, 16 minutes or so. It's played to Woods on the corner of the penalty area. Curls in across, headed away by O'Nien. Comes down to Sinek.
Not sit
he
back.
can't get his foot through it. And hooked away
do.
on the far
if we score,
side
we just
by
sit back and go, oh, don't panic, we've got this. But
Kept
then,
in by Hull.
not long after we concede, but
nice one,
just do what we did.
Woods plays it across into the middle to
do what we did against Millwall.
The Turkish international finds the Ivorian international, who's got it back again here for Hull City.
Ant, if you're on the play and watch the screen, watch the screen.
Longman. Ryan Longman trying to come past Roberts.
I think he might be listening to it.
Headed down and away by O'Nien, and then Evans calmly plays it to Ahmad. And on the
imagine him screaming on the play and saying, get in.
Comes right back to Matt Ingram.
A few minutes added on as well, mate.
Minute.
You've got to be brave.
Yeah.
Coventry 3, Swansea 3. The ball plays through to Tufan in the middle of the Sunderland half. Tackled by Evans. Tufan wins it back. Woods, and now Tufan again on the
How do you think we're playing now at a minute? Is it good? Are we sitting back or are we now pushing forward?
All City are just having possession. They're not deep in our half, like, but
they're not really doing out with the ball.
Over and behind.
But Sunderland shouldn't sit back and sit back and sit back. Don't go for it. Just.
Oh no.
Bringing on
Vale. Is it Vale?
It could be Harvey Vale. Yeah, he's a young 19-year-old on loan from Chelsea. So the youngster Vale is
just listening to BBC Radio Newcastle, Liam.
He's a midfielder.
He asks where have we gotten the stream from.
1-0. But playing against a team with 10 men.
Still 3-1 to Burnley.
Comes off
Stoke winning. Blackpool drawing. Coventry drawing. Watford winning. Sunderland winning. QPR winning and West Brom winning.
So
and then Norwich are kicking off.
Substitutions available to Hull.
I think Barr's going to come on.
Barr's getting instruction from, if that is Barr, I think it is. So 1-0 Sunderland lead. We're in the 81st minute, but I say there'll be a good deal of added time.
You're welcome, Liam, mate. Welcome to the channel, fella.
He's done well.
Welcome, Liam.
Pass it out on this right-hand side to Gooch. Now looking for Stewart again, but cut out by Hull. Out it comes on the left-hand side here to Longman.
Oh, Hull City.
Longman's got Tufan ahead of him.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
For the Turk, and he looks up and plays it into the middle to our friend,
1-1.
Mr.
Yep.
Jean, as it's played
back, that's the issue. We sat back.
1-1.
It's an own goal by Lyndon Gooch.
Own goal by Gucci boy.
Stretching to try and clear it. He's turned it past Patterson. And Hull have equalised.
Yeah, it looked like you've got to get out to him. You know,
now that puts us back to 12.
We're too far off him. You know, give him time and space. He's been able to pick somebody out in the box. I don't know if it's come off maybe Ballard or Gooch.
It wasn't an own goal, that. It wasn't an own goal.
But we've got to squeeze the ball.
Well, they're giving it to Tufan, but that was
Tufan
clearly
is the
an own
player who
goal.
scored for Hull.
Lyndon was trying to get his foot round it to clear it, and all he did was turn it over Patterson. And in the 82nd minute,
fucking last long, did it?
Hull City are level. And here they come again on the left-hand side. Slater trying to get the ball across, blocked by Gooch. And it's going to be one hell of a final 10 minutes or so. Barr's waiting to come on. But it's an onslaught by the looks of things now from Hull City. As Longman tries to come past.
Oh, Watford are now 2-0.
Roberts, who's got the ball out to Stewart. And Ahmad's on the run. Ahmad's on the break. Stewart's looking for him. It could run for him. It's gone a bit wide. Ahmad's taken it well. He's got into the penalty area. He's still going, and he's tackled. He's trying to dig the ball out, but Sinek's got the ball off him. Just didn't quite work. And back to O'Nien inside the Sunderland half.
Shouldn't be.
Hull won.
Should be beating Hull.
Sunderland won. I said you didn't dare take your eyes off this game. It's had everything. We said there'd be goals in it. We said there'd be mistakes.
And now Hull are probably dominating the game, but
we've seen Elliot Embleton.
I don't have Sky or Oaks, so I can't really
which
watch
may
the
have
game.
been a mistake.
Yeah, no.
The red card, but we'll have to wait and see on that front. As here, the ball back with Jean,
I'll take a point. I'll take a point. But
and then Ryan Woods up to Slater through the middle for Hull City. Hull now again pushing on, but
we've got Blackburn
Sunderland
next time.
Cirkin managed to stab it away, and now falls to Stewart in the middle
what?
of the
Man on.
Sunderland half, and it's just tapped away by
At home,
Evans.
so
Back to Gooch.
might win
Forwards
that.
here to Roberts, and Roberts now, if he can, well, he's got Neil on the left if he can get to him, but he's closed down by Jean Serry, and Roberts out wide on this right-hand side. He needs some help. Gooch behind him now on the right. Gooch swings in across. It's not great. Through the penalty area and away towards the far corner and out for a throw at the corner flag. And Barr is going to come on. Huddersfield 0, Watford 2. Who does Barr come on for?
I would say Ahmed.
Hull City 1, Sunderland.
I think he's going to finish 1-1 now, or do you think we could still get a goal?
Gave Sunderland the lead in the 75th minute. An own goal from Lyndon Gooch.
Hull's got to be favourites to win it, I'd say.
And Ahmad is the player who goes
no
off.
They've got an extra man, haven't they?
As you say,
can't lose the Hull
City. This is replacement in the 85th minute.
Should be beating them.
So both teams have made all their substitutions.
Absolutely.
Well, 5 minutes, but easily, I suspect, 10 to go. Question is there a winner in this game? For one
card should be.
These teams.
Would you settle for a point?
You'd argue it would be a good point in the circumstances, wouldn't you? As the ball comes back here to Ballard.
But I feel like Hull are not doing up with the ball.
120.
So.
Back here to Greaves on the left of the centre circle for Hull. Out wide to Longman in front of Tony Mowbray. Back to Greaves and into Jean.
Diallo's coming off.
Blue.
Back to Greaves. Woods now.
And Baz coming on. Abdullah Baz.
Trying to get it forwards over on that far side. Vale.
Why not Bennett? Why not put bloody Bennett on?
He squares it to the Ivorian. He finds just to his right Woods, and then slowly pushing up forwards.
How often do you see that though? It's a 0-0 game. The minute the other team comes up and scores, the other team equalises straight away.
Midfield to the edge of the area.
Happens a lot of
he's tackled. It comes back out to Woods, and Woods now. Seri back to the corner of the penalty area and out to Woods.
Could have been a good 3 points.
The World Cup gets played tomorrow, son.
To Longman in the middle, into the centre. The Ivorian through the middle, then just laid off to Estupinan. He's forced out by Ballard, but Hull still have possession through Christie and Woods. And then tap back to Christie. Stewart tries to tackle him. Sunderland win it back, and it's it was nearly threaded through to Barr, but he slipped, and Hull have it back again. Edge of the D, and now back to Jean Serry, who plays it out wide on the right-hand side, and then swept in here over the head of Longman, and it's going to be.
I don't bloody know.
Could well be. Having given Lyndon Gooch the...
Well, there's got to be at least 6 minutes added on, I'd say.
I'm told that by replay, it looks as though Tufan might have just hooked his leg in front of Gooch.
Well, referee's been a twat today, hasn't he?
He's claiming that goal. So, either way, it's a goal for Hull in the 82nd minute, which has pulled its level. And
Gavin Ward is the referee.
We're on tenterhooks for these final minutes of the game. So up to Roberts on the right hand side here, and through it comes though to Greaves for Hull, and they will look to come again. Hull City. Christie bringing it up through the middle, and then Woods.
It'd be a good point today, like if we do get a point.
Plays it back to Ryan Woods, who squares it into the
it's just from a winning position. We've conceded.
The Ivorian Jean Serry, who leaves it for Woods, comes back to Ryan
Difficult
Woods,
with 10 men in it, with a team that's going to press and press and press.
Here to Greaves on this left-hand side.
And he won a red card, was it?
Sunderland half in the 88th minute. Back to Longman on the left, and Longman into the centre here now to Woods again. He's seen the run of Slater down the left of the penalty area. He's closed down by Roberts, who gets the cross in though. It's hanging in the air for a moment. Tufan got on the end of it, but it's been headed behind. It's a goal kick to Sunderland.
Yeah, it's going to be a long injury time as well, Nick. I would imagine at least 8-9 minutes.
Isn't there? Yeah. Following the injury to Elliot Embleton before he was carried off, sent off in the 59th minute. And so, goal kick to Sunderland.
Do you think there's another twist?
Well, you wouldn't rule it out, would you? The way this game has gone, you'd feel there probably is.
Oh, it's a shit Christmas present, isn't it? Sunderland?
Oh, what's the minute? There's about 89 minutes gone. But there's about 9 minutes added on, Matthew. Yeah.
He's tackled by Sirkin.
What, 99 minutes?
Scoops the ball away from him.
I reckon it's about 8 or 9 minutes added on, I would say, yeah.
A throw to Hull City on the right. In the last minute of the 90. 1-1 here at Hull City. Sunderland playing with 10 men. Ross Stewart scoring on his return. And the ball crashes off Ross Stewart as Christie tried to drive it forwards. Back to the goalkeeper who taps it out again to Christie. Now Woods to Christie. They've lost their last 4 home games, Hull. Desperate to try and win this one.
Lost the last 4 games at home.
Long ball played up to Longman. He tries to flick it over Gooch. He's still got it, Longman, on the edge of the penalty area. Comes back round Roberts.
Anybody's got a bad record, you can guarantee to fucking end it against us, can't they?
A long, low shot off Ballard for a corner.
But everyone else has beaten Hull City, haven't they?
It's not been a good performance from us today.
Dean Whitestone, the 4th official, but he hasn't got his board.
Well, I don't think Hull have been much great either.
8 minutes.
No, 8 minutes added on.
8 minutes of added time.
Okay.
We're into those 8 minutes now, and a corner for Sunderland to defend. Swept in from the left by Jean Serry. He chases back as it's cleared. He's tapped it inside. Barr went to close him down, but the Ivorian plays it back here in the middle to Regan Slater, who comes forward, driving forward, looking for Vale. He's run though into trouble. He's fouled Evans, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. Nearly a minute of that minimum 8 played. Patterson jogging out slowly to take the free kick for Sunderland, left of central midfield, being urged on by Gavin Ward.
There's been the urgency from us today, mind. A little bit of brilliance by Stewart, good ball played up, but apart from that,
ball driven down the left.
Just nothing in the game.
No.
Appealed for the throw, it's gone.
Like you've had too much fucking chocolate turkey or something.
Gukan Cynic.
But I won't go overboard and say, oh, but League One next season, League One next season.
No, there's no chance of that.
Hoof it up in the air
I think if there's any Sunderland fans saying that, they need bloody...
Trying to just flick his leg out behind, he wins the throw.
He's living under a rock.
Longman. So this about halfway inside the Hull City half, and Gooch comes down to take this.
Yeah, 8 minutes added on, Mohammed.
Across comes Stewart, begging for the ball to be thrown to his feet, but then he strolls away again, then comes back. And Gooch now with this throw. It's Stewart down the line. He's going to be put Gooch for time wasting.
Stupid time wasting.
Afternoons, isn't it?
Burnley's had a player sent off as well. I know it was a yellow card. Didn't look like a yellow card, Caden, did it?
In the 83rd minute.
Nah, Burnley are winning today.
Sorry, the 93rd minute. And the throw taken, cleared by Woods, up towards the halfway line. And on the touchline, Ballard trying to win it with Estupinan. Out it goes. Ballard's limping away from that challenge. And he's just, is it cramp? I think it's cramp, is it? Ballard's just gone down, just trying to stretch.
Got no more subs.
There's no more
I bet Hull are
substitutions.
just time
He's going to have to play through this.
There's only 2 games still playing, and that's us and West Brom against Rotherham.
They're going to have to take it again because
everywhere else is full time now.
Apart from West Brom Rotherham.
Dan Ballard by stretching his legs.
So Middlesbrough have lost then.
And O'Nien.
I'd be happy with a point today. It's not been pretty at all, but I'll be happy with a point, especially playing most of the second half. 10 men.
Ballard back and Longman then with this
something to take out of it, though, isn't it?
Hull City drops it to the feet of
Jay Hunja needs Sunderland to win or draw for my Aka. Well, good luck.
Christie. Christie then.
We'll take a win, right?
Remember, if you're just joining us, it's...
Well, I hope one at Hull City plays fouls our players in the box and then we'll get a late
sent off, carried off on a stretcher in the 59th minute, but shown a red card. Jean Seri gets away from Roberts, then just lifts it down the right of the penalty area to Vale. He's tackled. It comes back to Christie, who crosses, sweeps through the penalty area and behind. The referee's not made a decision, but it's a goal kick. He's now made the decision, and we played 4 minutes of the minimum 8. Hull City 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland with 10 men. Patterson is being urged to get on with it.
Why has he got to speed things up? Why?
Because he's a referee. And Patterson, then all the players on this near side. And Patterson's kick down the right. Up goes Stewart. It's off the head though of Greaves. Drops in the centre circle. And trying to get a foot on it is Neil. Trying to just push it through to Stewart, but one back intercepted, but Neil trying to get it back. Oh no, foul by Evans on
Getting very, very scrappy now. Like
a free kick in the centre circle to
we need to.
Stewart's pleading there should have been probably a free kick to Sunderland before that. Referee having none of it as we approach 5
Can't afford
minutes of the 8.
He's doing this.
Here's Jean Seri. Plays it out wide left.
Full time at West Brom. They've won 3-0 against Rotherham. There's only one match playing, and that's us.
Positioned in front of him, but he plays it
What
across
is it
to
with this
Christie,
referee now?
halfway inside the Sunderland half. Now he's taking on Neil, just taps it back behind him to Vale, inside then to Touzan and to Seri. He's blocked by Evans at the moment, but gets it back to Christie.
Do you think Patterson's had another good game as well?
He's been alright.
Corner.
It's all Hull City, mind, but it will be because they're the extra man, aren't they?
And Woods with this corner on the left-hand side, all square at 1-1.
Yeah, well, referee's been a twat today, so
Woods with the
can't
corner.
just keep blaming the ref.
Swung in here, driven in, and it is headed away by Ross Stewart, and it comes back to Tufan at the edge of the penalty area. And now Seri back to Slater
get out to him.
In the middle.
Get out to him.
Slater drives one in straight at Patterson, who catches it.
Somebody's got to get out to him.
And falls
Nobody's
straight
closing them down now, mind.
Keeps hold of it. We've played.
Have you ever been to Hull, DJ?
I went to Boothry Park. The old ground, aye.
What was that like?
Smelled like a recycling plant.
Patterson to the edge of his area.
It's meant to be a shithole, this Hull.
All the players now just herding on the left, and the ball goes through the centre.
Well, like Middlesbrough, they had was it Ayrton Park they used to have?
That's right. Yeah. They had Ayrton Park.
Slater, who slides away
I know
from
Doncaster had an old stadium before.
Out to Seri.
All the old ones are all gone now, mate.
Neil ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, look at Man City, they had Main Road, didn't they?
They did.
Woods
cost us for Roker
Park.
Park.
Again for
Aye, definitely.
Out to Woods on the right. He's got support wide on the right-hand side.
That probably had just as good atmosphere, if not maybe a bit better than Stadium Light. I don't know.
But it's a weak finish.
Yep.
Gathered by Patterson.
Oh, you could probably put your hands over your ears and you could still hear the roar from the Sunderland fans.
Minimum 8. 1-all.
Well, we're now into the 9th minute of stoppages. I don't know where the referee's getting all this from, like.
Just strolls away with the ball, comes out
Might have been sniffing
here.
some glue, DJ.
Everybody heading towards the centre. Patterson, 40 seconds of the minimum 8.
I'll be happy with a point.
This down the left.
Yeah, from 10 men and that. It's just from the winning position that pisses
trying
me
to get
off.
on the end of it. Comes through to Greaves.
Full time.
Seri.
Full time.
Out on the left. It's cut out by Roberts. Roberts away
Well,
down the
we've come
right-hand
back from
side.
the
Longman
defeat,
chasing Roberts, still going. Roberts.
Well, there we go. Full time. 1-1. I'm happy with that point. It's not pretty. Referee fucked us over. We've hung on to a point.
And we're still above Middlesbrough at least.
Yeah.
And it's a free kick to Hull City. We played now the minimum.
If we didn't get sent off, if we didn't get that red card, we'd have probably won it.
Quickly into a 9th minute now. Slater on the left-hand side here. Slater, he's still going down the left for Hull City. He's squeezed out away by Evans to the touchline, and that will be it. It is finished.
Well.
Hull City 1, Sunderland 1.
Oh.
We said there'd be mistakes in the game. My, oh my.
Where do you start?
Anyway, Jacob, I better go. The wife's been trying to ring us. Look, massive thanks for everybody for tuning in today on the match. Sorry it's not 3 points, but we've not lost either. Very, very, very scrappy game. I'll be doing a review any minute now. So, well, thanks for Jacob for your company. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, click the thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and we'll see you for the next match. Don't forget, a review coming up very soon. We'll see you later. See you later, I'm Jacob.
From what I'm told.
See ya.
But I think, you know, now it's finished. 1-1 with 10 men away from home.
Yeah, you look on it and yeah, you take all the pluses out of it, but also, you know, you look at the equaliser. It's a soft goal to concede. You've got to say that all afternoon we have defended well. I think we needed to push out to stop that cross coming in. But, you know, the questions will be asked. Why didn't you start with Stewart? You know, Ballard's come on, it's done well. But, you know, you look at it, yeah, Hull City played good football, but again, you're thinking, it's a game where I think we could have picked 3 points up.
Well, certainly going 1 up, you just want to see the game out then, don't you? But I think you've got to realise, I suppose you have to take into account, you are a man down.
You are a man down. Yes, but, you know, yeah, they missed the penalty. They look on things and that they had one or two, you know, they had 1 or 2 opportunities and he just